Yes, it may have been a rough month for Justin Timberlake, but there was at least one big positive. The singer sold his Tennessee mansion for a whopping $8 million. Reports are just coming out, but he apparently sold the 127-acre property just weeks before his DWI arrest. I haven't seen any pictures of it.
No, in fact, maybe even Dynasty itself is on. But
I think that kind of covered the bill.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, right?
But then,
Well, you're talking about Tennessee, too.
Tennessee, yes, yeah.
Also, what did he buy it for? Because, like, the Pee Wee Herman house, right?
Pee Wee Herman estate.
Yeah, I saw that.
The estate. He sold it for $5 million, which, I mean, in that area is, it's fine. But he bought it for $400,000.
No, absolutely. But even still, at this point in time, $50-$60 million. It's like, okay. But you're right. In Tennessee, I'll tell you what, in some areas, real estate is pretty expensive.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, it depends exactly where you're buying.
Right.
If you're going to buy in Bel Air, you're going to pay a gazillion dollars for stuff. But if you have a smaller town,
Bel Air, Tennessee,
$8 million is going to go a long way.
So he bought it for $4 million back in 2015. So he made a nice little profit, and it's 126 acres.
Yeah. All right.
I'm sorry, how much did you buy it for?
$4 million.
$4 million.
Not $4.
Doubled. So not $4. All right. Kevin Costner recently sat for an appearance on CBS Mornings with Gayle King, and he peeled back the curtain a little bit while he did spend time talking about his movie Horizon: An American Saga. He also got personal, sharing how hard his recent divorce has been. We didn't go there with Kev. We'll get there someday, when he wants to have a conversation like that.
Really, the more emotional part of this Gayle King interview, Preston, was he welled up talking about our interview.
I'm sure.
And it was amazing.
Yeah. So he had said, talking about the divorce, he said, that's a crushing moment. It's powerful and it hurt. Just because it was crushing doesn't mean that he could give up. The actor shared that he had no choice but to stay strong to make sure that he could set a good example for his kids who were looking up to him. He and Christine Baumgartner finalized their divorce back in February. They share 2 sons and a daughter. He said, my children are looking at me, so I can't wilt like a daisy. I have to go forward. By the way, that movie opens today.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. If I have time, I would like to get out and see it in the movie theater. Honestly, he was such a nice guy. I want to support him. And you said it's a great movie.
Listen, so some of the reviews are mixed. I'll tell you this. If you're a fan of Westerns, don't pay attention to that because it is the beginning of a Western saga. I really loved it.
Nice. So Drew Carey has added some new context for the famous phrase, come on down, used on The Price is Right. In an interview with TV Insider, he revealed that some contestants fortify themselves before heeding the call to the stage. He said that happens all the time here. They'll have a gummy or I'll smell alcohol on their breath. Not unusual. There was a guy here that was tripping on mushrooms.
What?
He said he came with a bunch of friends. He was a sketch comedy guy. I found out later when I went to UCB, which is a sketch improv theater, Upright Citizens Brigade, to hang out. And they were like, did you see the guy who claimed to be a skateboarding rabbi? I asked him what he did for a living, and he goes, I'm a skateboarding rabbi. He didn't think that he was going to get picked, and he totally tripped before he came.
You were there.
Yeah.
And so everyone has the potential to be called up out of the audience. Correct.
You go through a very quick screening process. You walk by the producers of the show, the directors and everything, and they just ask you, hey, where are you from?
Right.
What do you do?
I'm a rabbi.
Yeah, I'm a rabbi. I'm a skateboarding rabbi. And that's pretty much it. And so you kind of try to turn it on, show your personality while you're there, and then they pick the people out of the audience that are contestants. That is the reason to be there.
To go there, yeah.
I mean,
everyone has a shot.
Yeah, that's why I was really, really excited and really disappointed when they did the last they did the last come on down thing. But
how long does the taping take?
I don't remember.
It's sort of in real time, isn't it?
Yes,
it
is. But we had to wait in line for like hours, like 3 hours before getting in and everything. So because they film multiple shows. But it was fun. It was cool. It's smaller than you think it is.
It always is.
Always is.
I remember seeing the Tonight Show set and like, oh my God, that's like a postage stamp. Man.
Yeah, totally. So they make for some reason the audience looks really large on their shows, but it's very, very tiny. Excuse me. The investigation into the ketamine supplied to Matthew Perry before his untimely death in October is nearing its end, and it will soon be up to the U.S. Attorney's Office to decide if multiple people could be charged as a result. The U.S. attorney could also refer the case back to state prosecutors if they do not choose to file federal charges. The investigation has been ongoing since Perry's death and included the LAPD, Drug Enforcement Administration, USPS, United States Postal Service, and the U.S. Attorney's Office. Now, the USPS's inclusion in the investigation may indicate that drugs or payments were sent by mail at some stage. So there's no exact report on who or how many, but it could be multiple people that are called in for this.
Reading this story, and it looks like that there's a significant amount of people they're looking into.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that for you, let you know what's going on. Hannah Ann Sluss, former contestant on The Bachelor, and NFL player Jake Funk exchanged vows in an intimate ceremony in Tuscany, Italy on Wednesday.
Are you going to the Sluss Funk affair?
Yeah. The couple who had been dating
Are you with the Slusses or the Funks?
for 2 years chose to keep their wedding small and focused on the significance of their commitment.
Which side will you be sitting on?
I'm a Sluss.
I'm a funker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could tell.
Sluss and Funk's relationship.
So would you
HR, Sluss and Funk.
if you combine their names, would you call them the slunks or the fusses?
Oh, I like the slunks.
Yeah.
That's got a more punch to it than the fusses.
Yeah.
So the
Sluss make a fuss, Lung.
Sluss and Funk's relationship began in early 2022, with Sluss initially keeping it private, but their romance progressed quickly.
Said they can't do a little, but they can't do enough.
To an engagement led to an engagement in January 2023. The marriage marks a new chapter for Sluss, who was previously engaged to Peter Weber from The Bachelor before finding lasting love with Funk. So we're so happy.
Love that. Just, well, they used to do it all the time on the Tonight Show. Leno would do the wedding announcements, the engagement announcements of the with the two names. I'll tell you what. Have you seen this this Bachelorette? That is
no.
I think
Smoking Hot.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta see.
I think they've gone back to that.
By the way, Sluss and Funk sounds like a sex movie. Some dude, I gave her the old Sluss and Funk.
Yeah, man.
Night.
She's not going to walk right for a week.
You ain't gonna ask right for a week.
You ain't gonna crap right.
All right, Dolly Parton, who revealed recently that she's discovered she has some Welsh heritage, was part of a video posted to Instagram by Ryan Reynolds in which she was, quote, honored by the Welsh Board of Tourism and Docudramas, receiving a scarf that suspiciously bore the emblem to the Wrexham Association Football Club. Dolly continued that she was asked to say a few words about Wales on camera, and she had said, all episodes of Welcome to Wrexham are now streaming. She began reading before pausing. She said, wait a minute, what is this? The screen then splits, reveal the owners, Ryan and Rob McElhenney, and it turns out it's a scripted promo for the soccer series. So they had some.
I love that.
Yeah, she's awesome, and I could see her totally playing along with those.
Do you remember they were running something about her, and when she came out in the Dallas Cowgirl cheerleader outfit?
Yeah, she looked damn good.
I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah. How long ago was this?
This was like a year ago.
Yeah.
It was at a sports celebration. Like it wasn't an All-Star game and it wasn't the Super Bowl.
Right.
It was like
the opening of the they do this big pomp and circumstance.
Maybe that's what it was. But it was at Dallas's football stadium, Steve, and she looked like $1 million.
Like, oh my God, she's in her 70s.
Yeah.
Wow. Steve, Spencer Milligan.
Yes.
Best known for his leading role in the 1970s hit series Land of the Lost, has died. He was 86 years old. Milligan actually died back on April 18th. I don't know why they just recently
let him know.
They just told him. No cause of death was listed. He had served in the U.S. Army. He was a lover of arts from a young age. He trained at several prestigious programs. Lived in Malibu, California between the 1970s and 90s and guest starred in many of the era's best-known shows like The Bionic Woman, Gunsmoke, Alice, Mike Hammer, and McCloud. His roles in the shows varied from gunslinger to hitman, grief-stricken father, drug-pushing medical lab supervisor, and broad comedy. But his role as park ranger and Father Rick Marshall in Land of the Lost is what he was best known for.
So at that time, you lived for Land of the Lost. There were two guys who played the father on that show. Maybe he's the one who replaced, or maybe was he the original?
I don't know. It doesn't mention. He played for 2 seasons, 74 and 75.
Right.
So I don't know when.
Yeah, he was the original, and he was. I think either he left. Yeah, I think he left. But they've been having these Land of the Lost reunions now because Sid and Marty Krofft have a YouTube channel that's doing really well. Like, if you go down that whole, Preston, of Lidsville, Sigmund and the Sea Monsters, everything, the Brady Bunch Variety Hour, for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
It
these
was the
scared me.
hokiest crap.
Rochelle showed me a screen cap of a show, and she goes, "Do you know what this is?" I go, "Yeah, Sigmund and the Sea Monster." And she's like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, "It was one of my favorite shows as a kid."
Saturday morning.
Yeah.
But the Land of Lost, just for some reason, the look, everything just kind of scared me. I didn't
Totally.
Well, it was
The
done.
Flea Stacks.
It was done like, and by the way, those episodes were written by some of the top sci-fi writers of the time.
Really?
It's funny. It's so dated. It's ridiculous. That sometimes, I'll see a short video or a screen cap of a picture from the show, and it'll say, "This is what we grew up with." This was our entertainment on the weekend, sarcastically.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I thought it was pretty ingenious because, Steve, there was like time warps and
Yes.
things like that, and they had there were different dimensions. Remember that box that had those different colored like rocks, or
Crystals,
whatever?
right?
Yeah,
And
the
they
crystals
travel through time.
and you could travel.
Yeah,
and I'm
and
like,
they're-
okay, this is not just a dinosaur show.
No, yeah,
it was. It had some. It actually had a little bit of depth to it.
It was well done.
But you remember the Flea Stacks?
But yet some of them would be, "Hi, I'm a Sleestack.
So
I'm Reginald von Sleestack. Are you with the sauces?"
despite only playing the character on Land of the Lost for 2 seasons, Milligan described the series as part of television history. He said, "It's part of my life. It's not my full life. I did what I wanted to do, and that was it for the time. I thought it was very good, and we had some fun with it." He left Hollywood shortly after ended his run on Land of the Lost, relocating to Wisconsin, where he'd spent his summers. And over the last 20 years, he dedicated his time and energy to furthering his love for theater in his community. So, 86 years old. Sarah Michelle Gellar has joined the Dexter prequel series, Dexter Original Sin. She'll reportedly be the CSI chief at the Miami Metro Police Department, and that means that she'll be Dexter's boss, since he'll be starting a forensics internship with the police while he tries to get away with murder.
So who's
obviously.
playing young Dexter?
So I've got the list here. So we mentioned that Patrick Dempsey
Right.
has joined as captain of the homicide department. Christian Slater's joined as Dexter's dad, and Patrick Gibson is going to be playing young Dexter
Who's
Morgan.
playing young Nell?
I don't know who they're bringing in as Nell, but
Nell.
they're still casting. So Molly Brown will play Dexter's sister. No
Right.
word yet on when Dexter Original Sin will actually premiere, but they're starting to stack the deck as far as the cast goes. And so we'll let you know who plays
I
Nell.
can see that in the opening credits. President, they turn around.
Yeah.
And Nell turns around. She's got a squirrel in her mouth.
I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait.
Let's see. Mark Wahlberg plays a villain for the first time in decades in the upcoming Mel Gibson-directed action flick Flight Risk. Topher Grace and Michelle Dockery co-star as a government witness and a federal marshal, respectively, being flown to trial by a pilot who is going to be Mark Wahlberg, who is not all he seems. He has a history of playing heroes and good guys, with the last baddie being his role in Fear in '96.
Wow,
So it's been
all the way
that
back.
long. Yeah. The movie, it's the October 18th, by the way.
Fly honeys? Are there any fly? Well, besides
Well, he's a pilot.
yeah.
So they
fly
flies.
honeys, flying honeys.
You got to have fly honeys, of course. So pow, and get ready for that. I've not watched this yet, but the trailer for Aubrey Plaza's trippy comedy called My Old Ass is out, apparently. The movie, which caused a buzz and a bidding war after premiering at Sundance, features Plaza as her 39-year-old self imparting wisdom to her teen self, played by Maisie Stella, after the youngster dosed herself with shrooms while on a camping trip.
I like this concept.
The film will be a limited release on September 13th. The national rollout will follow that.
You know what I find myself very excited about is here that Tom Hanks.
yeah,
I mean, that,
Zemeckis.
yeah, I mean that concept is so cool.
Yeah.
One spot on the earth from the beginning of life on Earth.
Yep.
And what happens in that space.
Yep, should be pretty cool. Downton Abbey fans, your beloved series is now also a film franchise with the third big screen take on the show coming out. And you have to wait a little while. Excuse me, it was announced yesterday that Downton Abbey 3 will hit theaters September 12th, 2025. It follows 2019's Downton Abbey and 2022's Downton Abbey: A New Era to the box office. Not much is known about the storyline other than the film will feature the return of Paul Giamatti and Dominic West to the franchise.
This one takes place on Jupiter, a space station.
Okay.
Kat, you
I
said,
loved it. I loved Downton Abbey, and I never got into the movies. I don't know why they ended the TV series.
So, okay, so the movies never did anything for you.
No, and I tried. Like, I almost feel like it was, I don't know. I don't know. I just liked the TV show better. I mean, I could probably go back and try it again, but it just annoys me that they're making all of these movies. Why didn't you just continue with the
do
show?
the series.
It did so well, and then you ended it.
Selena Gomez has confirmed she will be appearing on the reboot of Wizards of Waverly Place.
That's where she first became a public figure, right?
Yep, that's where she started. The actress shared the big news while speaking with her Only in Murders in the Building co-star Martin Short while he filled in for Jimmy Kimmel Live. She said, I will be in the first episode. I'm executive producing it, and it brings me to tears because that is the beginning. That's where I started, and to honor it in this way has truly been a blast, and I can't wait for people to see it. The original Wizards of Waverly Place ran, for 4 seasons from 2007 to 2012, had over 100 episodes, and the reboot is expected to hit Disney Channel and Disney Plus later on this year. Could the Sanderson sisters be coming back for round 3? Bette Midler was on the Jess Cagle show when co-host Julia Cunningham confessed her love for the movie Hocus Pocus and its sequel, Hocus Pocus 2. And Midler revealed that no one involved with the original film had a clue the movie was a huge hit until years later, leading to a sequel. And the sequel ended up being just as successful. And that led to tentative discussions of a third installment of the franchise. And Bette said now they're kind of talking about a third, very gingerly, very gently. As Bette's Winfred Sanderson said in the original, we shall be back. So we will see. If
Interesting.
fans want it,
I always thought the first one was cute. Second one was cute. I'm not a massive fan, but they're fun.
Yep.
I'm a Hubie Halloween kind of guy.
Are you?
Too.
All right, and then Paramount is hiking the price of its streaming service as it looks to boost failing profits.
Thank God, because I felt I was underpaying for all that entertainment.
I mean,
just had to purchase this because there was something that we were looking to watch. What does it give the prices?
Yeah, so on Monday it said that it will increase Paramount Plus Essential option by $2 to $7.99 for new customers, which works out a huge 33% price raise.
There for new customers. So I paid $11.99.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what the story is.
And also, I can't figure out how to suspend it when I'm done with it. We only wanted to watch a movie, so I got it to watch the movie, and now I don't know how to suspend it after the first month because it's not. You know, you go to subscriptions on your phone for whatever reason, even though I have the app, it's not. I can't get it on my phone, and I can't figure out how to do it on the TV.
So that's one of the easiest ways to do it. Just go to your phone.
Yeah,
and you
type
can just,
subscriptions.
I
know.
All right, so but with like failing profits, why instead of like giving a better product, do they just go, now we're just going to charge you more?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how about, okay, we got failing. Our company is failing. How do we fix it? Oh, we charge everybody more for what is a inferior product.
They're raising their prices right before the end and second half of the whatever season of Yellowstone comes out.
Well, no, I'll explain why this is because other streaming services are doing the same thing. They've been willing to spend on big budget shows, but offer cut price subscriptions in a bid to lure in customers. But investors now want to see a return from that. So they're spending a lot on the product.
Yeah.
They're not charging you, quote unquote, a lot for it right now.
Right.
They want to get you on board, and then they're going to bring the price up. And you know what I mean?
So you remember for a while that the conversation was between people, cord cutters.
Yeah.
And how much you could save by cord cutting and that you just get, right now, the prices of all these streaming services have gotten so exorbitant that I'm like, where's the advantage?
I still go through a phase where I'll cancel one for a bit, and it's just because, and it's for that reason, Steve. I mean, it saves a few bucks every month or whatever. But I just find that I go in trends. I'll watch Netflix for 3 months, and then I'm like, I'm not really watching anything on Netflix right now. When I want to come back to it, it's so easy to just reactivate. So if you cancel it for a stretch, you're not really missing out on anything, and there's so much content. It's impossible to keep track of all of it anyway.
That's true.
Nick, I do the same thing. I'm just pissed that it's only $7.99 for new customers, and then so if you've been there for a while, they charge you $11.99. It's crap.
I don't know, but they've raised it $2. on the Paramount Plus Essential option. I don't know what the Essential option is.
Essential option.
So you might have a different package that you paid for.
Right. This is Essential Paramount.
Yep.
Looking it up right now and trying to cancel.
Peacock said that it will raise the prices in July ahead of the Olympics. The event airs exclusively on NBC and Peacock, and that is the second price increase in the past year. Earlier this month, Warner Brothers Discovery angered customers by raising the price of its ad-free Max subscription for the second time. Paramount announced in April that it had added 3.7 million Paramount Plus subscribers during the first quarter, bringing the total to 71 million. However, like most of its media peers, Paramount reported losses related to its streaming service. Last year, Paramount combined with Showtime and Paramount Plus platforms to streamline content spending and growing priority for media companies. After cutting costs on program making, it now wants to boost the money that it brings in from subscribers. So
there you go.
Yeah. By the way, when it comes to television, 8 of the 9 major services have hiked their prices in the last year. Apple TV Plus, Disney Plus, last October, Netflix axed its basic $9.99 per month ad-free plan for new members and upped it to $11.99 for existing members. So
yeah.
It's a juggling deal you got to do there. All right. We got new movies opening this weekend. A Quiet Place.
What?
Day 1 opens. Horror, sci-fi, starring Lupita Nyong'o, Joseph Quinn, and Alex Wolff. When New York City comes under attack from an alien invasion, a woman and other survivors try to find a way to safety. They soon learn that they must remain absolutely silent as the mysterious creatures are drawn to the slightest sound. Rated PG-13, an hour and 40 minutes long. Wide theater release. Rotten Tomatoes scored 84%. That's a good one.
Our friend Craig Lagan said it was very good.
The Vordelak also opens. It's a horror fantasy film. Casey Mutton-Klein stars, as well as Ariane Labed and Gregory Collin. When the Marquis d'Uf,
that's what it is,
a noble emissary of the King of France, is attacked and abandoned in the remote countryside, he finds refuge at an eerie, isolated manor. The resident family, reluctant to take him in, exhibits strange behavior as they await the imminent return of their father, Gorsha. But what begins simply as strange quickly devolves into a full-fledged nightmare when Gorsha returns, seemingly no longer himself. It doesn't have a rating, doesn't have a... it's a limited theater release. I don't know what the Rotten Tomatoes score is on it, but it's an hour and a half long.
I'm sorry, it should have been in there. I think it's an 88%.
All right, well, that's a good one. Yeah.
So the story of the Vordelak is actually very cool. There's a Mario Bava movie from years ago called Black Sabbath. It's 4 separate horror stories, and Boris Karloff is in one of them. Basically, the conceit is, Preston, the Vordelak is, if you get killed, you rise up like a vampire and you return to your family and you attack your own family is basically what the deal is. It's kind of the conceit. So it's very cool.
How do you become a Vordelak?
You're attacked by another
Vordelak?
Yeah.
So then your whole family will become one afterwards?
The Vordelaks. Yeah.
We got
Listen, honey, the Vordelaks invited us over. Oh.
For Christ's sake. I hate those people.
I feel like going.
All right, let's do the clips. Here we go. Pulse-pounding game show The Mole sees contestants...
Oh my God, I used to love that show.
battle to build a prize pot while outsmarting an anonymous saboteur known only as The Mole. And here, host Ari Shapiro...
Shapiro!
shares his advice for future players. Here we go.
I think you just have to breathe deep and keep your wits about you, because there are so many distractions. There are so many unexpected twists and turns in every stage of this game. Learn how to meditate before you get on set, because it'll come in handy.
Shapiro!
The Mole is streaming on Netflix.
I think I loved it because Anderson Cooper was the original host.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I love him.
Here's our next clip. The Zillow Gone Wild Instagram account is up to 1.9 million followers, and now it's a TV show. And here host Jack McBrayer talks about one of the wild houses he toured for the show. Here we go.
There was a house in Lake Tahoe where the woman was selling it, and this is the house that she grew up in. This is the house that her father built. And what was so unique about it is it was built on top of a mountain, and instead of blasting the boulders to create the house, they built the house around the boulders, so the boulders are inside the house.
He's awesome.
He's great. Yeah.
He's great. New episodes of Zillow Gone Wild airs tonight. That's on HGTV.
I've never seen it.
No, I haven't either. I saw the ads for it. There's another show called The Ugliest House in America.
Oh, wow.
That's a fun one, too. I think that's on Netflix.
All right.
And this gal, she's a great host. She's a lot of fun. Goes around, and they have broken up the country into regions: East, West, Midwest, South.
Right.
And then they narrow down the ugliest house in each region, and then they go against each other. And it's great. I mean, it's like you can't believe one after another. You're like, nothing's going to get worse than this.
So they're not in like complete hovels.
No.
Yeah.
They're just weird, stupid decor, really dumb floor plans.
All right, I like that.
I mean, like somebody had in one of the houses in front, there was a Poseidon fountain, with the trident and everything.
Sure,
and,
that's what I'm
really
looking for.
garish stuff. It's a lot of fun.
A tour of crack houses might be kind of depressing.
So I assume that Zillow Gone Wild is almost the same thing.
I follow the Instagram account, and I love it. I always, anytime it comes up in my feed, I look through the pictures because the things in these houses are crazy. So I think I would watch the show.
Steve, I'm watching one of the trailers right now, and it's in a missile silo.
I love Mrs. Silo.
Yeah,
There you go. All right, excellent. Let us take a break. We got a lot to get to today. We're going to have Bill Bellamy stopping by this morning. Wrestler Matt Hardy is going to be in our studio as well. When we get back, we give some stuff away. It's Friday, so we'll get something to eat with the Connoisseur. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.
Now we get reality TV, which takes over for that.
So that's like the Real Housewives and all that stuff. Maybe you're right.
So,
I don't know. It's annoying.
I don't watch any of them.
None of it?
I'm a botanist.
Okay. No interest.
Yeah.
All right, so this is interesting. Haven't heard this name in a little while. All eyes were on Val Kilmer as he took center stage Sunday night at a benefit for his Twain Mania Foundation, created to impact the iconic writer Mark Twain's legacy to children. The 59-year-old posed on the carpet with a pair of binoculars around his neck.
How's he looking, by the way?
I have not seen the photos, Steve. I'm not really sure if we have any. If you guys
To be honest, I
find any, that'd be great.
There was a point there. Huh? Yeah, he looks okay. He had throat cancer, some sort of variation
I've got a
of throat
little
cancer. You got it?
information on that coming up. But we're looking at a picture of him right now. He looks. Now he was heavy for a while.
He was very heavy.
He got pretty hefty. Looks like he's lost the weight, but man, has he done some work on his face.
He's Mickey Rourke-ified.
Yeah, he's aged clearly, but you can tell that there's been some work around the eyes and the cheeks. And that just, I couldn't tell you. If you showed me that picture and said, who is this? I couldn't tell you that's Val Kilmer.
It looks like a drag queen pretending they're Val Kilmer.
Yeah, kind of like that.
He's not going to be featured in the new Top Gun?
Yes, he's going to be in it.
Is. So his son Jack was also in attendance for this event, but the appearance previews a comeback of sorts for the star, who is set to hit the big screen again in Top Gun Maverick. Last summer, Cruise said of Val Kilmer that he was doing really well. While it's unclear what prompted Kilmer's hiatus from Hollywood, it became apparent that he was struggling with health issues during the hiatus. In 2015, a spokesperson told People magazine he was rushed to the hospital for a possible tumor. In 2017, he admitted that he had throat cancer and had recovered after a 2-year fight. He told the Hollywood Reporter that the procedure on his trachea made his voice raspy and left him short of breath.
I really like Val Kilmer. He's been in some really great stuff. Top Secret and Real Genius. And I love him in MacGruber. Yeah. He's freaking hilarious.
And Steve, you're forgetting
Tombstone.
Tombstone, thank you.
One of the greatest performances.
Yeah, definitely.
I bought the man's shirt.
I think his best performance. And The Doors. He was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
So what would you say? So greatest Val Kilmer, Tombstone? That is such a great performance.
I got to go neck and neck with The Doors. They were both so good. But yeah, his lines in in Tombstone are
so
just
great.
wonderful.
So great.
I love Real Genius, though. I love that movie.
Have you ever
It's a
seen
great
Real
movie.
Tombstone?
I've never
It's
seen
really good.
Is it?
Yeah, it's about Doc Holliday in college.
Only uses a laser instead of
I'm gonna use a
revolvers.
laser, honeysuckle. I'm gonna make a whole big house into a Jiffy Pop.
What was that? Was that him?
That was his bite in
in Top Gun,
Yes.
his best pilot?
Yeah.
Hit it again. That's his teeth coming together.
Oh my God!
That's right. Ice. Man, I am dangerous.
And there's the bite.
Right, man.
That line from Cruise, I hated. Ice. And then he pauses. Man, and brushes off his shoulders.
You're awfully big there.
Horrible movie.
I'm 5 feet, 3 inches tall, man. I'm a little tiny man.
But as much as I hate Top Gun, I can't wait to see the sequel.
Likewise,
I
because
really want
now-
to see it.
Because guess what?
What I said, and I thought they were going to do, is they're going to go more realistic.
Yeah.
You think
They're gonna
so?
go more, that's the word.
Okay.
And now with the availability of what they can do,
It's Steve. Wouldn't it be great if in the locker room saying they all of a sudden break into a dance number?
right?
We're going for ultra realism
Realistic.
here.
I want to see Val Kilmer though. You know, I want to see how he looks and how he's able to pull up Iceman, because what we just saw there up on the screen doesn't jibe with the Iceman I know.
I don't think he can't be all that cocky anymore.
You're not just writing checks. Your body can't cut.
What was that?
You're
Ice.
dangerous.
Man, I can't understand your words. Man.
John Hamm's in it too. He was at the Blues game last night and on Saturday, and he's done a few spots on NBC for the Stanley Cup Finals, and so it'll be cool to see him in it as well.
I looked in Nadnan.
I'm sorry,
I looked in Nadnan.
he wasn't in Nadnan.
No, Madman.
Oh, Mad Men.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You can't put your lips together. That's, no, man.
I had a little surgery.
Yeah. You got a little surgery?
You look weird.
Tonight, E.T. gets the exclusive with Val Kilmer.
I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off. This can go hard on you now.
You look weird.
Bring it, you little bitch.
All right, what else I have for you? 3 months after Nicolas Cage and Erica Quakey got hitched in a quickie Vegas wedding.
A quakey.
Quakey was quickie.
You remember he
Nicolas Cagey
tried to immediately get it annulled.
4 days.
Yeah.
Vegas. So after this, a judge in Clark County had granted them a divorce. Cage filed for an annulment 4 days after the wedding.
He was drunk. He freely admits.
That was his fourth wedding, by the way. Claiming that it was based on fraud because Quakey did not disclose her criminal and romantic history to him.
Uh-huh.
See, you didn't tell me about your criminal history.
You didn't tell me about your criminal history.
TMZ
If I had known, I wouldn't gone all quakey on you.
TMZ reports that the annulment didn't happen, and it is
I'm his friend now.
Oh,
See, little guy's my friend now. He's got great fingers.
Quakey. Okay, so reports that the annulment. TMZ reports the annulment didn't happen, and it's unclear if Quakey will receive the spousal support that she has requested. So, honestly, I don't know what's going on there.
I love Nicolas Cage Nicolas Cage has become what he's wanted to become the most. It's basically an Elvis type character. He goes around, in these, like right here, he's got some sort of animal print leisure suit on. This is ridiculous.
What would you do to make your butt look good in a photo?
Ooh, I'd have it wear a cowboy hat.
For celebrities and social media influencers, it's about contorting the body for the best rear view.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you know what to do, Kathy?
I'm not sure. I'm sure it's probably a little arch in the back.
Well, for me, it's bending over and pulling the cheeks as far apart as possible.
Right, that's a different type of photo.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
I
not
misunderstood.
what they're talking about.
I think so you can see everything, where you can see where the skin starts to turn color.
Oh, my God.
Right? Is that what you're talking about?
Listen, I didn't even realize I was doing it, but I was, I mooned my daughter.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. I just did.
Here.
Yeah, but I brown-eyed.
Oh, no, your poor kid. You are just traumatized her for life.
So is that how you take a proper ass picture?
I don't think any child should see their father's butthole.
Ever.
No.
Write that down.
Do what I did and just feel it.
It scarred her. She was like, she freaked out.
Oh,
I thought more like, I was thinking more in the veins of my son.
Yeah.
And that I was doing that too. And I was like, I can't believe I just did that. I just did that.
I can't believe it either.
Wow. I know. Yeah.
Man in my little girl.
Yeah, right.
Poppy. Hey, Daddy, I just saw your brown eye.
Is that your butthole, Poppy?
It was quite traumatic, Poppy.
His name is Eddie. He wants to know if we can go steady.
I've never seen your butthole. I had to tell him I did, Daddy. He's not my boyfriend anymore, Daddy. Thanks for scarring me, Daddy.
Oh, the car pop?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Well, anyway, back to the story.
I saw your balloon knot, Daddy.
Hey, look over there.
Didn't want to see it, Daddy.
You probably shouldn't have told us that.
No, I'm glad I
Here's
did.
other stories.
So the most popular booty popping position involves tilting the pelvis and arching the back.
Yeah.
So the
And
obvious.
then swiveling the head to the side. Bootylicious models such as Hailey Bieber and Isabel Goulart have recently
My name is Isabel Glart.
have recently
You want to change our last name?
posed on the red carpet this way to highlight their pert posteriors in gowns with plunging backs.
So can you show Casey what he's? Do you know what he's describing? Is it? Are you?
Well, I'm going to give it more detailed. So here we go. Here's an influencer, Daisy Keach, who last month enlisted a plastic surgeon to certify that her backside was real to her 1.1 million Insta followers, said, "I'll stand up straight and spread my legs a little bit to make myself look a little bit wider than if my feet were closer together." She says, then I'll arch my back a little bit.
Right.
And I'll kind of puff out my chest. I breathe out and my stomach cinches in as I pose.
God, what a bunch of nonsense to go through.
One of our
she's 19,
calendar
by the way.
girls though does this perfect, and I can't remember which one it is. I'm trying to find her pictures, but like
Is it Shay? Our cover girl?
I mean, listen, they probably all take
Yeah.
great booty shots, but there's one specific calendar girl, and I can't remember who it is.
The 19-year-old influencer from Los Angeles says,
Influencer.
she says a lot goes into properly accentuating her most famous asset, which she dubbed the Keach Peach.
The Keach. What's her full name?
Her name is Daisy Keach.
Oh, I thought you said Stacy Keach. I'm like, that guy?
Daisy Keach, and she calls it the Keach Peach. One of her other go-to tricks involves bending the leg that's closest to the camera while standing, quote, super tall on the other foot. If you arch your back a little bit and lean the shoulder closest to the camera forward, she said it will make your waist look smaller and your butt look bigger.
So none of them suggest putting your stomach forward on a table and pulling your ass cheeks far apart?
I haven't gotten to the whole thing yet, so maybe. But while an overarched spine may look good on the gram, it's not the greatest for your posture, says experts. With a neutral pelvis, the hip points and pubic bone align. By contrast, the sway back position and other similar moves create an interior pelvic tilt, which is placing a lot of... It's Friday. We have a few guests coming up later on, so if we're going to do it, we got to do it now. It's time for the Connoisseur.
It's time for the Connoisseur, an early version of the Connoisseur, but it's the weekend version, which makes it extra special.
And you know what? It's also extra special in that I had forgotten about this until now, but Marissa had an interesting idea for the food clips.
Yes.
This week, and there's a pattern.
All right.
In them, and I don't think
we'll
I'm
guess, right?
I don't know, Marissa. You think I just hold on and not reveal what it is? Okay.
All right.
I'll play the clips in a moment, but there is a theme today.
Okay.
For
See if we can discern it.
absolutely no reason whatsoever.
All right.
All right. There's just a theme nonetheless. But we'll start with a story about food, and it's a local story. And actually, it came out a couple days ago, but sometimes I will hang on to them for this very segment because we do a lot of our food discussions on Friday. So a Pennsylvania spot is a place to check out for pizza lovers, according to a new report. And it's not just a Pennsylvania, it's a Philly joint.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
And it's from the New York Times. The New York Times named a Philly restaurant as one of the 22 best pizza shops in the country. So number one, prestigious publication, the New York Times, is coming out with this. And they only named 22 in the entire country.
And there's a lot of pizza places.
Pretty awesome. And
There's 22 pizza places in this parking lot.
It is San Lucas Pizzeria. which is at 2000 Bouvier Street. Is that how you say that?
Bouvier?
Bouvier Street in South Philly.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, no, it's a small place. It opened in 2005. It's been around for a while, but Valentin Paliero, who emigrated from Mexico.
Oh.
Hey.
Olé. And his wife, Eva Mendes.
Hey. Ryan Gosling.
Eva Mendes. They offered traditional pizzas and toppings, but eventually Paliero decided to use ingredients that are used in Mexican food to stay true to appeal to his own community, he had said. So I assume that the pizza, I didn't do
Mexican flavored pizza?
Maybe,
Mexican style?
Some varieties of, Mexican used ingredients.
Me likey.
As toppings, but it got the attention of the New York Times. And other than pizza, they offer Mexican cuisine like tacos, quesadillas, burritos, and more. Quesadilla. Cheesesteaks, burgers, salads, stromboli, and grilled chicken sandwiches. So they have a little bit of everything. But apparently, they're above and beyond when it comes to the pizza game.
I'm going to have to try this signature pizza there. It's this Mexican style pizza.
I love everything Mexican. I wonder how I would do with, I'm sure I would do fine with a Mexican pizza.
You would be great.
Yeah, it would be great.
I've had a lot of really good pizza around this area lately. I've searched far and wide for.
But do you do different pizzas like this, or do you strictly do like a traditional pizza?
Just strictly traditional. Like I like to go with the cheese pizza. This looks like it's. All right, what are the ingredients?
I don't know.
Okay, I mean it looks like a pretty traditional looking pie but they have the sauce on the top or whatever. But I'm glad you're talking about pizza, Preston, because I wanted to, and you know about this. Steve, have you heard about the dad slice yet?
No.
This is a new food trend where you take the whole pie, all right? You don't slice it up like normal, and you basically just cut out a giant wedge, and the dad slice is that giant wedge. If that makes any sense to you.
I feel like Lorenzo's would be a dad slice.
It's
is that what it is?
Lorenzo size slice, essentially. So if you were to take like a 16-inch pizza, and just cut the majority of it one wedge, essentially you're just trimming off parts of it.
Yeah, okay.
So
I got it. Yeah, that's Lorenzo's.
Yeah.
I call that a Lorenzo's.
Yeah.
I want to do this. It is. Yeah.
Then do it.
Yeah.
You could order it next time you order a pizza. Tell them,
Hey, dad slice.
No, just say don't cut it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I have
You
my
bastard.
I do have my own pizza cutter.
You
at home.
do have your own pizza cutter. Yeah,
Yeah.
They will be happy to not cut it for you, I'm sure. But you can make your own dad slice.
Casey realized he could do his own dad slice.
By the way, that pizza that we were looking at, Casey, it was not a standard traditional
No,
pizza.
it's not.
It had
There's something else on it.
Yeah, there was it said like Giuliano sauce or something like that, and cilantro and lime.
I'll give it a try. I mean, Kath, do you ever get like a taco pizza? You ever get that?
No, I usually stick more like traditional pizza. But like I was saying, I do love Mexican, so like I feel like I should try this.
But for this to stand out in Philadelphia, because we've had some very awesome pizzas brought here to the radio station. That's saying a lot. So one of the top 22 in the country.
I like just threw and brought here to the radio station. So maybe
very much so.
Really, the best food is the food that is brought to us.
Maybe the Mexican
gratis.
pizza can be
It's so
brought
tasty.
here.
So the two places that I went to recently that blew my mind. There's a place called Johnny's in Bryn Mawr, and apparently their cheesesteaks are really, really good too. But it is a damn good pizza. I got the word of mouth, but like because it's such a good pizza, getting through on the phone is really, really hard. So you got to call like as soon as they open up. Like even if you don't want the pizza till 8:00 at night, you got to do that. And then the other place is a place called Pizza in Westchester. They don't even have a phone. You just have to walk into the store and be like, "You got any doughs?"
You sure it's actually open?
Yeah. No, I did. I went there when I took Seamus to Westchester for a college tour. We walked in there and I'm like, "You got any left?" He's like, "It's Monday. We're good."
By the way, going back to Mexican cuisine, I want to thank Kathy for a suggestion. I know it's been around forever, but I've never gone. Rochelle she doesn't like cilantro. She has an allergy to it, so we don't go get Mexican food that often. It's not that she dislikes it, but it's kind of dangerous. So we don't go. And
Blows out her O-ring.
She was out of town, and so my buddy Jim and I went and grabbed a bite to eat at Plaza Azteca, and it was fantastic.
Yeah,
I loved it. So thank you, Kathy.
And I think in my description to you was like, it's a chain, but like it's really good food. And they, me, like the margaritas have to be good, and they make excellent margaritas.
Giant margaritas.
Preston sent me the picture, and when you order, they're like, "Do you want the whatever
Yeah, you
ounce
want
or
the
whatever?
large?
Do you want the large one?" And so in the picture, I was like, "Oh, he got the large one."
By the way, I knew I was going to be drinking margaritas, so I took an Uber there. And while we were on the way, the driver's like, "Dude," he's like, "the food is fantastic." So I was like, "All right, I'm in."
I've been to Plaza Azteca a bunch of times, and what I love about that place and a lot of like the Mexican restaurants is the food comes out so fast.
Yeah,
like it doesn't matter what you get.
It's not even cooked.
No, it's always nice and piping hot.
Well, they did the tableside guac, which was phenomenal.
Right? Was it
excellent?
Was it the guy or the woman that made it?
It was a guy.
Okay, so every time
Fernando.
he knows my order. He knows my guac order. He's like, no cilantro, light on the onions.
Hello, Kathy.
There she
I
is.
know the way you like your food.
Totally.
I'll take care of you.
He's like, hi, how are you?
Expose the back of your neck to me. Does that feel good?
And Steve, one of the bartenders left.
Is your nipples hard?
I walked in with some of my friends, and the bartender gave me a fist bump, and they were like, "You know the bartender?" I was like, "Well,
Kathy, you're like the norm of.
Plaza Azteca.
Hola.
But it was wonderful. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate it.
Oh, good. I'm
All
glad
and
you liked it.
Congratulations to San Lucas Pizzeria.
Yes, we look forward to your driving over here with free samples.
Bouvier Street in Philadelphia. All right, let's play our first clip this morning and see if you know what what movie this food clip is from. Here we go.
The new liver loaf lunch arranger can feed the entire camp in 2 minutes. It slices, it dices, it juliennes, and it teaches respect. Yes, Jake. Ready, Eddie? Lobster bisque.
All right.
BS.
215-263-WMMR. Let's see if you know what movie that is from. Order up. Here's another story from a couple days ago, but I didn't get to it until now. Totally Cool makes Chipwich, Friendlies, and other branded ice creams, and they are recalling more than 60 products because they could contain listeria.
Whoa.
The product,
And, like, it's summertime. Like, who doesn't eat ice cream or get a Chipwich at the pool or the beach?
Where did Joey come from, by the way? Did you do that?
Whoa.
The products were sold nationwide in retail stores and by direct delivery. The Owing Mills, Maryland company, disclosed that in a June 24th recall notice posted by the Food and Drug Administration, Totally Cool has halted production and distribution of the items, and no other of the company's products were affected. No illnesses have been reported.
Whoa!
But if you have any of these, you can go and get them at your place of purchase.
Can you imagine a worse time for this to happen during the summer? The big ice cream push.
So it does include some Hershey's products too.
God!
Yeah, Hershey. Whoa. Hershey's 38 fluid ounce vanilla and chocolate flavored ice cream cakes. They're chocolate flavored. It has the other size chocolate flavored ice cream cakes too. Cookies and cream ice cream cones and cookies and cream polar bear ice cream sandwiches. There's a whole list because there's a lot of friendly stuff on here too, and Chipwiches on top of that as well. So just a heads up if you've bought any of these products.
I'm a fan of the Chipwich.
Oh, yeah. You get them on the beach, though, Steve, because they pack that stuff on like dry ice. It comes out rock hard.
Yep. You
Right,
gotta
me. Yeah.
you gotta wait an hour before you can eat those things, for real. Same with you, Steve. All right, so there's a recall, and you can do a quick search online and be able to find out if you do have something in your freezer that matches them.
The good thing is we're blessed with a ton of great ice cream places around here, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
I got a question about ice cream and freezer burn. It's still edible?
Freezer burn is edible?
I don't, is it?
It depends on the
Tastes
level.
good.
I think like if you have more than a centimeter, you're in trouble. But like, less than a centimeter, you're all right.
What is for freezer burn? Essentially, it's not like it is.
It's just the water freezing on top
that's
of
it. That's all it is.
And you'll cut mold off bread and eat it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of the time.
Not bread, cheese.
Hard cheeses,
Yeah.
you know, and
Chicken.
You can cut around the
All
chicken.
right, okay, just checking.
Bread, you're supposed to throw it if you see any mold
Supposed
at
to.
all.
Yeah.
But Casey, it's never bothered me. Like Kathy said, I think it's just a taste thing.
Yeah.
It's not going to be as yummy.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if somebody knows what movie this is from.
The new liver loaf lunch arranger can feed the entire camp in 2 minutes. It slices, it dices, it juliennes, and it teaches respect. Yes, Jake. Ready, Eddie? Lobster bisque.
All right, let's go to Chris. Hey, Chris. Good morning, bud.
Hey, you guys rock.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right, what movie is that from?
Is it Ernest Goes to Camp?
It is Ernest Goes to Camp. Nice work. Hang on, Chris. Here's what we have for you.
We got a 4-pack of tickets for an advanced screening of Despicable Me 4. It's going to be this Monday, July 1st at the Regal King of Prussia. Plus, you get a prize pack full of Despicable Me movie merch. You can go to WMMR.com for another chance to win tickets for the advanced screening. Universal Pictures and Illumination presents Steve Carell, Kristen Wiig, Will Ferrell, Sofia Vergara, and Stephen Colbert in Despicable Me 4. Rated PG, only in theaters, July 3rd.
All right, here's our next clip. Let's see if you can identify what movie this is from.
Bonsoir, monsieur, and welcome to Cooking with Ernesto. Today, we're going to attempt my world-famous recipe for GI pancakes, or as I call them, crepes kaki.
All right, 215-263 WMMR. Let's see if you know the answer. Order up! Crumble cookies.
Crumble cookies
are making it easier than ever to have dessert for breakfast with their new cereal that they are putting out. They have teamed with Kellogg's for chocolatey chip cereal.
The best and healthiest cereal is cereal that is made like a cookie.
You can basically eat a bowl of crumble milk chocolate chip cookies for breakfast.
Do you remember when Cookie Crisp came out?
It was a revelation.
It was a revelation.
Yeah. I mean, technically it wasn't cookies, but they had gotten a cookie flavor, a chocolate chip cookie flavor.
Which, for me, hit like big time.
I saw a stand-up comedian talking about that one time, Steven, and he's like, the tag in the commercial is always, it's part of a complete nutritious breakfast. And he's like, anything could be a part of a nutritious, gravel is a part of a nutritious breakfast if you want it to be.
Reactions to the cereal have been mixed, with one Instagram user saying he can't stop eating it, while some commenters weren't impressed. The pink boxes feature the same branding as the company's cookies and can be found at Costco, Target, and Food Lion for now.
So the crumble cookie around here,
In Wynwood?
Wynwood, right. When they first opened up, you couldn't get in. I mean, the line, they had crazy lines.
Yeah.
Has that diminished a bit?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Yeah, I think that's just when they open
It's
in
the big
new
rush?
Well, when
Yeah.
they open in a new town, they make a big deal about it.
They're
At,
too expensive.
The Trinity Rehab in King of Prussia.
There's one next to it?
Next door.
Really?
Right
Oh, my
next door
God.
to
Is
it.
that problematic?
I don't know.
Get a little physical therapy, go get your giant cookies.
It's funny because there's one right next to my Trinity Rehab in Newtown Square.
Really?
And I have two. It's kind of like my dilemma with my Acmes. I have two Acmes that are kind of equidistant to my house.
Yeah.
So same thing with Crumble. And the cookies are okay. They're not okay for $6 a pop. You know
But
what I
they're
mean? And-
giant. It's like buying a box of cookies.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
what? So, like for me, when I go to Insomnia, when I go down to Manayunk, Insomnia is kind of straight ahead. I think it's less ornate than the crumble cookies. They're a little bit more involved, right?
Yes,
So I'm
yes.
kind of an Insomnia.
So the one in the crumble in Wynwood, that's the Tobias Harris one, right, Case?
Yes.
I believe so.
I wonder if he's no longer a Sixer next year, if he's going to sell that.
I don't know.
If it's making money, no.
Yeah.
Listen, I only had it when they brought them by here. I was blown away by it.
Yeah, they taste
damn
great.
good.
I
They're
thought
damn
they
good.
were another level cookie.
Yeah, when they're free, they're fantastic.
I will say, though, that their plain oatmeal cookie is one of the best cookies I've ever had in my entire life.
Wow.
And so that one, and because they change their menu every week, I'll look, and if it's not on the menu, I won't even go.
Okay. So, yeah, if you want to get the cereal, it's out now. And I guess you can pick it up at Costco and Target. I don't know of any Food Lions in our area.
No, not familiar with the Food Lion.
All right, let's see if you know what movie this clip is from.
Bonsoir, monsieur, and welcome to Cooking with Ernesto. Today, we're going to attempt my world-famous recipe for GI pancakes, or as I call them, crepes kaki.
All right, we will go to Mario and see if we can get the answer. Hey, Mario, good morning.
Hey, does it smell like Up Dog in here?
What's up, dog?
What's up with you? Oh my God, Colby!
Nice.
Mario.
All right, Mario, what movie is that from, sir?
Good morning, Vietnam.
No. That is incorrect.
It's
Sorry.
Platoon.
No. We will go next to Peter and see if we can get the answer.
Peter.
Hi, Peter. Good morning.
Hey, Queef.
A lot.
Peter, what movie is it from?
Yeah, it's Ernest joins the Army.
Ernest joins the Army? I'm going to give it to him. It's
Yeah.
Ernest in the Army.
All right, okay.
All right, hang on a second. We got something for you, Peter.
For you, Peter, we have a pair of tickets as MMR rocks Slipknot Saturday, August 10th at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Tickets are on sale now via Ticketmaster, including a limited time $25 ticket offer celebrating the 25th anniversary of their self-titled debut album. Complete details can be found at WMMR.com, including a special VIP contest for great seats and some cool band merch.
And in case you haven't figured it out, every clip this morning is from an Ernest movie.
And there are a lot of them.
Marissa's idea, which I thought was wonderful. No reason at all.
Sure. We've been talking about Jim Varney a lot.
Let's play the next clip and see if we can identify which Ernest movie this clip is from.
Jake's specialty du jour, eggs erroneous. It's made with pounded eggs and 17 herbs and spices smuggled into this country by Tibetan monks.
All right, 215-263 WMMR. Order up! Pabst Blue Ribbon, celebrating its 180th birthday this year, and to celebrate, it's releasing a nutty 180 pack of beer.
A 180 pack of beer?
Yeah, so the company has produced 2,500 of these triple-digit packages, and they went on sale earlier this week. Each, to give you an idea, each 180 pack contains 2,160 ounces of beer, or slightly less than 17 gallons of beer.
Dear God.
Right?
And so how does it come?
In a box.
In a big box.
In a big pack, you know?
It's only like $100 too.
I don't see the price on here.
I saw it on the gram the other day. I thought the price tag up top said something like $99.99. But I could be talking out my hand.
You may want to check the price on that because I don't know. But Rachel Keaton, Pabst Brewing's marketing director, said this limited 180 pack is a way for us to celebrate the significant milestone in Pabst history, our 180th anniversary.
$94.99.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, I went over. I lost.
Our fans, she said, get really excited about these large promo packs, so we always try to bring something exciting or new to market.
My mom used to drink that. Occasionally.
PBR,
Yeah.
Dude, it always won the gold medal at the Great American Beer Festival.
Yeah.
Because they're doing these blind taste tests, right? So that, and every year Pabst would win.
So the packaging on each 180 pack has illustrated.
It was a way Pabst would win.
Every year.
Like a little bonus.
So each pack has.
Do you remember Midnight Madness?
I do remember Midnight Madness.
There was a part where they went to the Pabst Blue Ribbon factory.
And the guy had to, they played a keyboard, and it was the theme song to the Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yes, it was.
Commercial. It was great.
It was great. Michael J. Fox was in that. Movie was in that.
Also the guy who played Flounder, but he was a bad guy.
So each of the packs has illustrations of some of the brand's highlights and icons, including its superhero-ish mascot, Cool Blue.
Cool Blue.
Frederick Pabst himself, and references to the cheese that it made during Prohibition. In the 1920s,
Did you ever have some of that bathtub cheese?
Pabst produced Pabst Et cheddar cheese product, which was advertised as a perfect food to serve regularly to young and old and even to persons in delicate health. And it also added that it was served in many hospitals.
For the young and old and even people in delicate health.
Yeah, that's exactly
It's the kind of cheese everyone can have. For the young and the old and those in delicate health.
And served in many hospitals.
And served in many hospitals. Eat it straight out of the bedpan.
It was the 1920s when they came out with that ad campaign. This is not the first time that Pabst has actually released a comically oversized package of beer. In 2019, it launched a 99 pack of PBR, which sold in 15 states, and some stores sold out of their entire inventory in less than 24 hours. 2 years later, it produced a promotional 1,776 can pack to commemorate America. The massive cartons, which held the equivalent of 24 cases of beer, were distributed to 4 of its partners, including Igloo Coolers, a Michigan band, a comedian, and the cast of a skateboarding podcast. And because Pabst truly can't be stopped, in the summer of 2022, it went even bigger and released a 1,844 pack in honor of its own anniversary. The company produced 250 of these colossal cases and each one of those had a suggested retail price of $850.
Crazy.
I'm not much of a beer drinker anymore. Occasionally at a ball game or whatever, but there used to be a stretch of time where I drank a lot of beer, and kegs were a pretty regular purchase for parties and stuff. Do people still buy kegs, or am I just old?
Dude, we were literally just having this conversation where we were saying that you don't see kegs at parties anymore. That was the standard when we were coming up.
Yeah.
Our parents, and then we would get a Sharpie marker, and you would write your name on the side of the solo cup.
You had to rent the tap. You had to buy the solo cups. And maybe it's just because I've aged out of it. I just don't see or hear about kegs at parties.
What was the party ball?
Party ball was a smaller amount.
It was like 2.5 cases or something.
And
like
Steve,
that.
you could buy it at a beer distributor. And a keg, essentially you have to rent it. You have to put a deposit down. You got to take the keg back at the afterwards or whatever. And in a fraternity, you would do that because you could just have a keg on tap at all times.
Right.
So you would just take it back and never worry about getting the deposit back. But I just don't see kegs anymore.
Yeah, neither do I. We used to have to reserve a keg.
That's right.
Too. If you were going to have a party and you were planning on having a keg, you had to call them ahead of time and make sure they had one ready for it.
And more often than not, they really ended up not being worth it. I mean, to actually tap the keg, you would have to drink all of it.
Oh my God!
It was that was a chore.
I never did that. I was always at the Children's Hospital reading to the sick and infirm.
Right. Well, you're a giver.
While we were doing keg stands.
Yeah.
So when you did keg stands in college, did you guys get paddled in the ass as you drank?
No.
Okay, that was
your thing.
It was just
your
my personal thing. Steve would be rock hard, and he would
do me a favor, come over and beat my ass while I drink beer. Who is this?
But it was it was a count, right? Like how many paddles could you
Yeah, I'll paddle your ass.
I used to be so good at keg stands. They were
Really?
like,
let's do it
I
right
did
now.
like, there's the girl that can do it.
I didn't realize you were the keg stand girl.
Yeah,
Keg stand Kathy.
I have pictures and they were like, printed out pictures. Obviously, we didn't have, phones
They
and
were
all that.
Cave drawings.
Can we do one next week?
But I would have my toes pointed.
Oh,
like
of course.
I was.
Could you do it now, you think?
Straight, like arms. No, are you kidding?
Why not?
I throw up.
Wow. Keg stand Kathy.
I know exactly where my college photo albums are. I'll find a picture for you.
Okay, yeah, we need to see that.
And I would, like skirt, anything. I didn't care. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
sure,
Oh my
throw me
God.
up there.
Kathy, my date, we took her to a formal, I think it might have been a freshman, and she's doing a keg stand, and I'm like trying to cover her panties. And I'm like, she didn't give a crap.
I didn't care.
Somebody texts in and says, my neighbor has had a keg in his yard for 3 years.
Dude, back in the day, you used to be able to get those delivered. There's a great scene in Dazed and Confused where the one guy, it's the last day of the school, they're going into their senior year, and his parents are supposed to be going away, and the keg delivery guy shows up as they're packing their car, and he gets caught, basically throwing a party. I'm like, wow, they used to, like the milkman, the beer man would deliver.
Look, to someone who drinks and enjoys beer a lot, I know people have kegerators installed in their homes.
Yeah, but those are like for sixtels. Those aren't like full kegs.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyhow, let's see if you can identify what movie this food clip is from.
Jake's specialty du jour, eggs erroneous. It's made with pounded eggs and 17 herbs and spices smuggled into this country by Tibetan monks.
All right. Let's go to Brandon, see if he knows. Hey, Brandon, morning, bud.
Those foam fingers cost money,
What is that from?
What?
I don't know, but I like it.
Oh, Bono.
Oh, my God. That's
Way back.
Yeah.
Way back, yeah.
We don't even remember. All right. Brandon, what movie is it from?
Ernest Goes to Camp.
Yeah. That is correct, sir. And you just won this, Brandon.
A pair of tickets is MMR Rock's Slipknot Saturday, August 10th at the FM Pavilion. Tickets are on sale now via Ticketmaster, including a limited time $25 ticket offer celebrating the 25th anniversary of their self-titled debut album. Complete details at WMMR.com, including a special VIP contest for great seats and some cool band merch.
All right, here's another clip. What movie is this from?
Gosh, pretty soon kids won't have to worry about eating Brussels sprouts because the Brussels sprouts will be eating them.
So many great movies.
215-263-WMMR. Call me, know the answer. Order up. All right. Oh, yeah. All right. I wanted to mention this one. I only have one fast food story today. We don't have to do the roundup, but McDonald's is giving. Oh, you want to? Okay, we can do it. Hang on.
Wait, that is a fast food roundup.
Yeah,
Okay.
Casey,
All right.
Steve wants it. So,
Yeah. No, I like it too.
I didn't. Usually we plan ahead, and it's only if we have a few fast food stories, but we'll do one here for you. Here we go. All right, here's our fast food roundup.
I like it.
McDonald's is giving away free medium fries every Friday with the purchase of $1 or more, and it's not a limited time only deal. This is good through the end of the year. So that's a pretty sweet deal.
That is. What do you purchase to get that deal?
$1 if you spend $1 or more.
Can you just put $1 on the counter?
You buy a soda and you get free fries.
And you get fries along
How
with it.
about that crap?
To get the free fries, you got to use the app when ordering. And as a bonus on National French Fry Day, Saturday, July 13th, you don't have to make any purchase at all to get your free fries, but you can do it through the app.
So every company is extorting the people to use the apps.
Yep.
I got it. I was reticent to use the apps for the longest time, and then like the Dunkin' Donuts app and everything like that.
It's so
they
easy.
really work well.
It is easy. I get it, and I use my Wawa app now.
Yeah.
Nick, you got me rolling on that. But why is that important to the company?
I guess just like the same reason why you would get a frequent flyer mile for an airline. It's loyalty. It keeps you coming back.
They can track
maybe
you,
the
yeah.
database too. But like I honestly think more than anything, it's customer loyalty. I use my Dunkin' app all the time, Steve, because it's super easy. But the Wawa app, the rewards accumulate really fast.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, and
I
so
always
like
forget the rewards.
well, don't because you get the free classic hoagie.
I know.
And it also just keeps you top of mind because you're on there. It's just like downloading the WMMR app, and you know that you can listen to us anywhere you are.
That's
in the
right.
Country.
But it keeps you going back. It keeps the consumer going back because like
Loyalty.
you said with the points, like you're almost.
We should offer listener points on the MMR app,
Listen,
right?
you know what keeps me coming back is when I'm going to Dunkin', I put my order in, and then I get to the store 5 minutes later, and my cup's just waiting there, and I just go grab it and I leave. Like that will keep me coming back, right? If I use your app and it makes it less convenient, then I'm not going to use your app anymore. But like, so far, I used to be anti-app. Now I'm like
Pro app,
man.
Yeah, I mean, I find the convenience of it
You're
helpful
pro.
for sure.
Yeah.
But I just don't know why they're like, use the app, use the app, use the app. Why is it important? I can go in and still give you business. And same thing. But anyhow, nonetheless, they have made it easy. Also, the $5 meal deal that was previously announced has begun. It's a limited time promotion. It includes combination of 4 menu items with small drink, small fries, 4-piece chicken McNuggets, and your choice of either McChicken sandwich or McDouble burger.
I love the McDouble's nice.
Yeah, the chain is promoting the use of its app to help customers get special deals and discounts, as well as accumulating points towards free food to help fight high fast food costs.
It's been forever since I've had McDonald's.
Oh, man.
Like a long time. I used to have McDonald's quite often.
Yeah.
And now and my go-to sandwich was the double quarter pounder, completely naked, not a damn thing on it. And then a drink.
All right, well, let's see if somebody can guess what or know what movie this is.
Gosh, pretty soon kids won't have to worry about eating their Brussels sprouts because the Brussels sprouts will be eating them.
All right, we're going to go to Chris. Try and get an answer. Hey, Chris, morning, man.
Oh, geez, sorry to bother you guys at work.
It's all good. What movie is that from?
Ernest Scared Stupid?
Yes, Ernest Scared Stupid. Hang on, buddy.
All right, Chris, you won a pair of tickets for Preston and Steve's Day Off at Dorney, Thursday, July 11th at Dorney Park in Wildwater Kingdom. And you can enjoy the park for the entire day with early admission and free parking. And you're going to get there for our live broadcast and enjoy some rides that open early, including their brand new coaster, Iron Menace, Dorney Park and Wildwater Kingdom, for the fun of it.
All right, let's just do one more because I'm looking at the clock. We got to move along.
Okay.
Some bitch.
Here's our final food clip.
I made lemonade for the whole team with real lemons. It's not the mix, not the powder. It's the real stuff. See, it's still got lemon peel floating in it.
All right, 215-263-WMMR. Order up. This was mentioned earlier this week, but we didn't really discuss it too much. But Hooters stated on Monday that they're closing a select number of underperforming restaurants. The latest casual dining chain to announce shutdowns amid broader industry woes. Whoa. That's multiple woes.
Yes.
Hooters said that it was under pressure from current market conditions, but added that new restaurants continue to open domestically and internationally. Did we determine if there are any in our area anymore?
What about
all?
the KLP? Still there?
I don't know.
That was a roost. Did that turn into a roost, Chris?
No. That's down the street. The Hooters is still there.
It's still there. Yep. Okay.
I have I I don't even remember the last time I was in a Hooters.
Is it because the
McDonald's
food
and Hooters?
Is it because the food is terrible?
You know what? I buck tradition. I know a lot of people crap all over their. I like their wings. I think they have good wings. Yeah,
because I couldn't find out what the big deal was about the food, the chicken wings specifically. I just don't like them.
So are they not spicy enough?
No, I don't like
fried.
the breading.
Greasy.
Yeah. The last time I went to it was the original one in Clearwater, and that was probably 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe the year we came back from COVID, going down to.
Was the food any better?
You know what sucked though, Press, is I went on a Friday during Lent, and I'm not even like super duper practicing Catholic, but I did give up meat on Fridays. So like I went there and like ate buffalo shrimp or crap. I'm like, man. It was sad.
The closings were first reported by National Restaurant News, which said about 1/3 of all brand name restaurant chains ended 2023 with fewer locations than they started with. Eating out in the U.S. faces some cross currents. On the one hand, complaints about higher costs at fast food chains have hurt the fortunes of stalwarts like McDonald's, Burger King, Popeyes, and Restaurant Brand International. But in a recent earnings call, the CEO of Olive Garden, actually, the parent Darden Restaurants, said that they've seen some evidence that fast food diners are switching to casual dining as a result. So, yeah, this is bellied by a wave of closures at casual dining giants like Applebee's and, Red Lobster is thinking about closing down. Cracker Barrel stock was down. Outback Steakhouse is not doing as well. Carrabba's Italian Grill too. But they say that more people are gravitating towards that.
Okay.
It's interesting.
I wonder how Texas Roadhouse is doing.
I don't know. I love that place.
It's packed every time I go there.
Love that place.
Is the sales staff very busty over there?
I don't know.
Oh, no. It's not that at all. The food is just really good. And it's inexpensive.
And that has your sexy fries, right?
No, that's Butcher and Barkeep.
I can't keep up with this crap.
No, Texas Roadhouse is a chain.
Yeah.
But you get a good, tasty cut of meat that is not that expensive. And everything they make there is made in-house. Everything they make is fresh.
All right.
Which is fantastic. All the vegetables, the salad dressings, all the stuff they make there.
So there used to be a Hooters on Route 1, closer to like Route 1 and 202, and we had a couple of calendar girls who used to work at that one. Nick, do you know if that one's around anymore?
I don't think so.
It yielded some, it was very productive for us.
And it was a nice one, too.
Brittany was a calendar girl. Megan?
Yeah, Megan was there. Yeah.
Megan was there as well. And
King of Prussia, Newcastle, Newark, Delaware, Princeton, New Jersey, but Casey, it looks like that one's closed.
Okay, because it also had like a nightclub sort of attached to the back, if I recall.
I remember that. Yeah. There was a time when they were on like a real tear, and they had their annual a beauty pageant. They had this whole thing, and they used to have their own island. You remember that?
Yeah. Anybody listening, do yourself a favor and watch the Fortune Feimster bit about going to Hooters. It is an absolute scream.
Okay.
Preston, you also mentioned Olive Garden. I just have to say this because I saw it on the gram this week. But Steve, there's a new trend where people are taking the breadsticks from Olive Garden, they're taking them home, and they're turning them into hot dog buns. And it looks amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw a story I didn't add in the Connoisseur today about taking your hot dog buns and making them into French bread.
Oh.
If you buy hot dog buns, you know how it is. You end up having a mismatch of the numbers of actual hot dogs and hot dog buns. A lot of times you'll have buns
Yes,
or
it's true,
hot dogs left over. They're easy, and I do sometimes. I will toast a hot dog bun and put something like peanut butter on it.
What?
Or,
You're out of control.
Or put butter or buttered bread like that. Hot dog buns are yummy.
Yeah, they are. They're supposed to be
I know somebody who took hamburger rolls and actually built an Olive Garden out of them.
Oh my God!
Yeah, which to me blew my mind.
So versatile. Let's see if you can identify what movie this is from.
I made lemonade for the whole team with real lemons. It's not the mix, not the powder. It's the real stuff. See, it's still got lemon peel floating in it.
All right, let's see if we can get a winner, and it is Bryden we're going to go to. Hey, Bryden, good morning.
Good dudes, guys. How you doing?
Good, buddy. All right, what movie's that from?
Slam Dunk Ernest.
Yes, Slam Dunk Ernest is correct. And what do we...
Slam Dunk Ernest.
All right, Bryden, you got yourself a pair of tickets for Preston and Steve's Day Off at Dorney, Thursday, July 11th at Dorney Park and Wildwater Kingdom. You can enjoy the park for the entire day with early admission and free parking. You'll get to be there for our live broadcast and enjoy some rides that open early, including the brand new coaster, Iron Menace. Dorney Park and Wildwater Kingdom for the fun of it.
So how many Ernest movies were there?
Oh, I don't know.
Because there's one of the last ones is very powerful. It was Ernest's Choice, which was very...
Ernest's Choice.
Yeah.
That one I never saw.
There were 10 of them.
10 of them.
God. Wow. All right. I hope you enjoyed the Connoisseur because we are wrapping up this segment right now. So thank you very much for being a part of it. And hopefully you got something out of it, dear friend. We will take a break at this very moment and we'll get to the Bizarre File stories when we return. We'll also give you that word you'll need to enter to win passes to Dorney, our day off at Dorney. And then our guests start coming in. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.3.
This is chiropractor Marcella Thomas.
Well, of course, we know that the way you're posing is not the way you should walk around in life.
Some people do actually suffer.
Like, what are you going to be like this? Like Frankenstein?
Some people do actually suffer from an anterior pelvic tilt, an issue that Thomas says that she would treat in her office using strengthening and stretching positions and spinal adjustment.
She's really taking this seriously on this, doctor.
I
could treat that.
I have that pelvic tilt just when I stand regularly.
I don't know what you mean by that, but pelvic.
So my, I guess I have like a natural bend in my back and
which accentuates your
like an arch, and my pelvis kind of tilts a bit just when I stand normal. No, kind of down.
Does that happen when you try to touch your elbows behind your back?
Yeah, and then I do that and then tilt my head and
like when you lick your own nipples.
Right, exactly. Yeah, all very similar.
Yeah.
It's natural that my tongue goes down to my nipple.
When I give my Kathy, same. When I give myself oral, my butt really sticks out.
Sitting to my left, ladies and gentlemen, Adrian Zmed.
Adrian Zmed? I thought he was dead. Oh, my God.
We're not kidding. We've been talking about you forever, right, Preston?
We have. We absolutely have. We are fans. Has anybody ever said to you, I thought you were dead before, though? That's a slight insult.
Well, actually, there was an episode of The Simpsons where I was in one of their musical numbers, and I popped out of a coffin saying, "I'm not dead."
Here you are in this play, and again, Middletown, and it's two couples, and there's sort of there's some comedy, there's some sadness, but it's the way they've grown over the years. And what drew you to this?
Exactly that. I'm used to, I've been through the Eastern Seaboard so many times with musicals. And I'm used to just being drenched in sweat by the end of the show and doing it. And then I read this play, and it was such a simple play. It's just about two couples who have dinner every Friday night for 33 years.
Right.
They're best friends, and they're normal people, and life happens to them. And it truly is a roller coaster of emotions. I mean, we suck you in by all our little charming quirks that the couples have and everything, and then life happens. There are tragedies in life that you have to deal with, relationship problems with your spouse and everything. But what is the great fascinating thing about this play is that the words speak for themselves. I'm actually first generation Romanian, so my family came, to America for their kids to, be doctors and lawyers, and I come up to my dad and say I'm going to be an actor. And it's like, the funny thing about him is I won him over. I literally out of acting school, I got one of the last national tours of the original Grease, and we were playing in my hometown of Chicago.
You were playing Zuko.
Yeah, I was playing Danny, and we were going into a very big theater into Chicago, and there was and nobody really knew very much about Grease at that time.
Right.
The movie had not come out yet. It was just a hit on Broadway, and there were a few national tours. So the company manager said, "Look, we're having a lot of trouble with this opening night. We're going to paper the house. Tell your dad that you can invite the entire congregation." So,
oh man, that's a
I didn't mention that my father is a priest, an Orthodox priest.
Right,
they can get married.
And Greece is
Eastern Orthodox priests can get married.
Yeah. Greece is very profane.
Oh God,
yeah,
the stage show.
Kidding?
Yeah.
I'm giving the finger on the show, and it's just like the original Grease was not meant for kids; it was meant for adults looking back on their lives in high school.
So he brings down the congregation.
So there were 500 Romanian people screaming and yelling, and they had their gypsy violins, and they were going singing the act. Every time I came out, there was a big cheer. It was then that my father was won over, and he kind of, although he didn't understand when I ended up getting television and film, when I was doing TJ Hooker, he didn't really understand what that was all about. So he says, you work for 1 hour. What you do rest of week?
That's great.
You are a bum. I got into this business because I wanted to be an actor.
Right.
That's it. I never even wanted to do television and film. I just wanted to work in theater.
Right.
That's all I ever wanted to do. And then one thing happens, and then you're just whisked away, and suddenly you're in Hollywood, and you're doing all this stuff.
You're good friends with William Shatner, right?
Yeah, I'm actually. We're currently working on a few projects with his production company. Actually, we're letting it out right now. We're actually thinking of bringing Hooker back.
Oh,
in a comical way.
That'd be awesome.
Perfect. Bill is 88. Yeah. But the funny thing about it is that when we did Hooker, Bill pretty much did push the envelope on asking for ridiculous things for Hooker to do.
Okay.
I mean, we had like technical advisors from LAPD there, and he said, "Look, no, I got this idea. How about I just run over to the helicopter, and as it's going up, I just grab onto the rung of the helicopter, and when we're up in the air, I take my gun out and I go, bring it down." And the TA standing there going, nobody would ever do that.
The top text here says, poor man Travolta, my ass.
Yeah.
He made Bachelor Party, which is an absolute, it's one of my favorite films, and you have one of the best lines in the movie, I think personally.
Look at the cans on that thing.
Well, you're telling him, man, I really would love to have a relationship.
I would love to have this relationship that you have, and someday I'll have kids and be happy, and hey, look at the cans on that bimbo. You know, that movie, Tom and I lived very close to each other, so we lived in Studio City, and the sound stage that we were shooting this at was in Culver City, so it was a pretty good distance to go on the 405 freeway.
And you've been on Bosom Buddies, right?
Yes, yes. I played Johnny Midnight, his boyhood friend from camp.
So you knew him?
Yeah. And we'd carpool to work because we could go in the carpool lane and everything. And as every day after we get in the car and we go, our careers are over. Our careers are really over. What are we doing? This is going to be terrible.
No.
All we did was show up for 13 hours a day and goof off. Almost nothing of what the script originally was in there. We just ad-libbed. We just goofed off. And honestly, some of the funniest scenes in the movie never made it into the movie because we had gotten an X rating.
There's a horse scene. There's a horse
a donkey show.
Let me tell you about this. The donkey actually died.
What?
They brought him back to life.
No.
They literally shot him with some shot of something for him to go, and then he keeled over. And his heart stopped.
Oh, my God.
And we've got all these people, there's like 100 extras. Many of, the girls are half naked and everything. We're all standing there going, oh, my God, they killed the donkey.
Dear Lord.
You resurrected a donkey, Adrian Cement?
And they did the whole adrenaline thing. You know what I mean? They put the
oh my God,
in his heart, and he came back.
The donkey snorts 3 lines of coke.
You definitely
it's a real good kids movie. I'm really proud.
You're thinking your career's over, but no.
And then, honestly, when we saw the first cut, it was like, Tom and I looked at each other. This is funny. What the hell happened?
Is there any chance you could go back and re-release a director's cut by any chance, or is it too late?
Back then, they didn't save that kind of footage.
Now they do all the time.
And they do it all the time because of everything they do. But honestly, there was one scene that was absolutely hysterical. So we're the bachelor, the party's not going very well. The hookers haven't showed up. We're sitting in the hotel room looking at a Shirley Temple movie. Right. And it's just not going well.
The hookers go to the wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I say, Rick, let's go downstairs and get something to eat. I'm hungry. So we get into the I'm not gonna do this to say this on radio. This was cut. I said, sit in this booth. This is the best booth in the place. So he sits in there, And all of a sudden, you hear a zipper sound. His eyes light up. Right. There's a girl underneath who is
taking care of him,
going to give him a happy ending of some sort. So I, saying my gift to you.
Yeah.
And we see the minister who's going to marry him walk into the restaurant and go, "Oh, Father, over here, come on, over here." So he comes to the edge and he starts having a conversation with us, and Tom's going, "Oh, Jesus. Oh, Mother of God. Oh, Mother Mary and Joseph." Oh, he's writhing and everything. And I say, he always says grace before he eats. So.
That's great.
He can't take it anymore. He gets up and runs out. And I said, "Father, sit here. It's the best seat in the house." Close up on his face, you hear the zipper sound, and his eyes go like
That's great.
Didn't make it in the movie. We had offended everybody else. They didn't want to offend the Catholics.
It's so freaking funny.
You and Tom were friends. Could you tell then what a talent he was and what he was going to go on to
and
be?
honestly, one of the nicest guys in the business. Everything that's ever happened to him, he deserves every bit of it. He's a great, great guy.
That's great.
Very talented.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you.
A lot of people don't know this, but Tom was not originally cast in that role, and neither was Tawny Katane.
Tawny Katane was the it girl of the time, and she was the White Snake videos. It predates, I think, the White Snake video.
Who was?
Well, we shot 1 month with the other cast.
Who was it?
Oh, no way.
It was Paul Reiser.
Really?
And Kelly McGinnis.
Oh, my goodness.
Did they get fired?
Well, the producers just felt there wasn't a chemistry going on and everything. And Tom, they had just seen a screening of Splash.
Okay.
Oh.
And they said, "We really need to get that guy
that's like
for this."
I couldn't even imagine. And Paul Reiser's talented, man.
Oh,
but he's great. He just doesn't have the kinetic.
He was very funny.
Was he?
He was very funny.
Yeah.
There just wasn't a chemistry that was going on.
That's happened before. Back to the Future. Eric Stoltz was. They filmed for quite a while with him in the lead role. And
the scene where he falls and hits his head. That's Eric Stoltz's head. When he falls out of the tree, bonks his head on the.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's Eric Stoltz.
Wow. Okay.
Did not know that.
It's if you've never seen Bachelor Party, and it's worth going back for a visit. A number of people also texting in asking if we're going to bowl tonight, Adrian.
It's funny. I've had the great fortune and lucky to have 2 cult classic movies that are really. They're targeting completely different people.
Yeah.
And it's just really kind of cool after all these years. In theater, which is really my first love, and that's why I still do theater. If I'm going to be doing television and film, I'd rather be behind the camera these days. But if I'm going to act, I'd rather be on a stage because that is the actor's medium. It's electric. It's like a drug. Yeah. And Grease too. It was an opportunity to put it was my Danny Zuko that I put on film.
Right, because you weren't. They had to created another character, which is basically Danny Zuko.
Yeah,
and it was a weird thing because you had Grease comes out. You have Travolta's on a meteoric rise. You have Olivia Newton-John. You have all these big stars in it, and then they go with Grease 2 and they cast not unknowns, but
they actually did something really kind of. Took a big chance.
Yes.
The Connoisseur, but we have a big friggin' deal this week, and you can get $50 to 8 and Sand Beer Company for just $25.
Nice.
Yep. We always do this like half off deals, which is fantastic. They're in Woodbury, New Jersey. 8 and Sand Beer Company has 20 taps, and their 40-foot bar must stop for all who love breweries and craft beer. And you can get the exclusive deal while supplies last, WMMR.com/deals. I also now would like to mention our Dorney digital word of the day for the Preston and Steve show day off at Dorney. The word that you want to enter is toast, Toast. And here's what we suggest you do. You go to our social media accounts of the Preston and Steve show and click on the link there. All right, that is going to be the best way to make sure that it does indeed work properly. We've had to make some runarounds.
We're modifying.
That's what we're doing now. So our Instagram, any of our social media accounts, you can find it. And it's easy to do. Twitter, X, Facebook, all that stuff. And you could win a 4-pack of tickets to join us for the day off at Dorney. And you'll end up getting admission, obviously, for the day. Free parking, early entrance. Enjoy the rides that are opening early, including the brand new coaster, Iron Menace. So the word is toast, Toast. Make sure you do that. It's Friday. Let's ring it in.
presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, you want stories? Got you stories. We're going to start in Alton, Illinois. A mine collapsed on Wednesday, damaging a soccer field. You should see the footage of this thing.
So the mine was underneath the soccer field?
Yes, an underground mine had a surface subsidence that opened a sinkhole at Gordon Moore City Park. The impacted area was secured and will be off limits while inspectors and experts examine the mine.
Does it look like when Bane blew up the football field?
Dude, it looks like that, Steve.
Wow.
Yes. If you guys could find a video or a picture so Steve could see this, it's crazy. Parks and Recreation Department Director Michael Haynes said that they estimate the hole is at least 100 feet wide and 30 to 50 feet deep. 50 feet deep.
50 feet deep. That's over 40 feet deep.
The collapse swallowed up one of the stadium lights as well. And so, yeah, Nick's watching the video, Steve. It's crazy. Haynes said it was surreal. Kind of like a movie where the ground just falls out from underneath you. Turf fields were added to the park in 2019.
That's crazy. Preston, there's a pirate ship down there.
That project cost over $1 million, by the way. Although it's early in the process, Haynes doesn't expect the city to have to foot the bill for any fixes. The incident was reported to the Mine Safety and Health Administration. But it's pretty wild, because especially the video footage of this light pole that was right in the center of where that hole opened up, just getting sucked into the ground.
You know what they have to do? Fill it with chili.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fill it up with chili.
Big event.
Yeah. In California, an unwelcome visitor crashed the anniversary celebration of a couple and their family on Tuesday, leaving their minivan wrecked beyond repair. Eric Edens captured the video at the Bass Lake campground and posted it on social media. He said on social media, I noticed that there was something moving in the car. It's like, wait a minute. All the kids are down there. Who's in the car? And then I see the silhouette of the bear in the back window, and it's like, oh my God, there's a bear in our car.
Home, Jeeves.
The bear that ventured into their van, which was unlocked for convenience while the family was camping, required some human help to get out. A California Highway Patrol officer, flagged down by Eric, along with a park ranger, can be seen on video smashing out the van's windows before the bear busts free. Edens said that the family was playing nearby along the lakeside, unaware the bear had moseyed inside the minivan.
Don't mind if I do.
Where they had stored their food. And the syrup used for the family's morning pancakes proved to be irresistible to the creature. Edens said, I think he spent most of his time licking up syrup and trying to get out. He was trapped in there and probably started freaking out and trying to get out and started tearing the place apart. Barely inside the van for very long, the bear did a fair share of damage as the family's camp-out food and other bear necessities were a total loss. Beyond all the damage, they said, he did with his claws, just destroying the car, he also defecated and urinated in the car.
They always do that, don't they?
So it stinks
By
in
the way,
there.
I left a little present for you in the child seat. I love taking craps in cars. What is it about me?
The bear break-in forced the Edens family to cut their trip short by a few days, and they're now at home working with their insurance company on getting a replacement minivan.
They show the damage, Preston, and that's when you those claws that are like spikes just rip everything up.
Yep, they do some damage. In Pittsburgh, a driver tasked with picking up a dead body from a nursing home instead took a wrong and very much alive person with them.
Where the hell am I?
The wrong patient was picked up from the home to be transported to a Pittsburgh funeral home on Friday.
I was dreaming of pound cake.
Marshall Cohen, who is the person, said, I'm approaching 80 years old. It scares the hell out of me. Sources say the woman was wrapped in a sheet, not a body bag.
Oh, man.
She made a noise in the back of the van, alerting the driver that she was alive. And the spokesperson said that once they became aware of what happened and the woman was brought back to the facility, the rehab center contacted the Department of Health and the patient's family and took internal steps. The companies that transport are not responsible or trained to check on a person's status. That is typically left up to the medical staff at the facility.
So, I mean, how do you make this kind of mistake?
I have no idea.
Just go for the first old person you see?
And the person was alive.
Are you alive?
And they did. I don't know if they kind of just nudged. They nudged them and they were like, all right, take him away. So messed up. I don't know. All right. And then In Lebanon, Missouri, deputies arrested a woman accused of spiking her husband's Mountain Dew with Roundup.
Oh, man.
Let's try to kill him.
No, that's a great...
Michelle Peters.
That's a Summer Arnold Palmer.
Michelle Peters.
Can taste the Roundup.
Faces charges of first-degree domestic assault and armed criminal action.
God, that's cruel.
So deputies arrested Peters on Monday. Investigators say she added the Roundup to her husband's Mountain Dew on several occasions during May and June. They say she also spiked the drink with an insecticide. Investigators say that he began to suspect that something was wrong with his drink after feeling ill. The victim provided surveillance video to investigators that indicated Peters was tampering with the Mountain Dew in the garage refrigerator.
I think she put some Mountain Dew in my Roundup.
The victim told authorities that he was the only one in the home who drank the Mountain Dew kept in that particular refrigerator.
Roundup was part of that big class action lawsuit, right? There was a carcinogen or something. Monsanto, yes.
Oh, yeah, it's cancer causing.
Yes.
So Peters finally admitted to putting the weed killer in her husband's drink and says that she was mad because he didn't appreciate the 50th birthday party she threw for him.
So you kill him. Yeah. If you want to send a message, kill him.
Peters has entered a plea of not guilty. She's scheduled to be back in court next week. The husband did survive, by the way.
And she's going to argue that he was weed-free.
Okay, and that is probably true.
Yeah.
And that is what I have in the bizarre file this morning. All right, we are going to start having some guests in our studio. When we get back, we are scheduled to have from TNA Wrestling, Matt Hardy.
Nice.
A little later on this morning, our buddy Bill Bellamy is stopping by as well. He's performing at City Winery, so we'll get into all of it when we get back. Stay with us, please.
They did not. It was very unique what they did. They also created they created a musical that was never a proven hit on Broadway.
Right.
So none of these songs had ever been heard. It didn't have a track record or anything. And a lot of people, Grease 1 obviously was a massive, huge success. But Grease 2 didn't actually do badly. It in its theatrical release, it made about $80 to $100 million.
I watched
at that time, and people think that it wasn't as big a hit, but today it outrents and outsells Grease 1.
Really?
It's more kid friendly, and it's actually more of the essence of what Grease, the original Broadway show, was about. It was about all the T-Birds. It was about all the Pink Ladies, whereas the movie of Grease became a vehicle for John and Olivia. In the play, Kanicki sings "Grease Lightning," not Danny.
That's true.
It's his car.
Yeah.
Everybody has had a song in the Broadway show to tell you their story, and that's what. So it's more of an ensemble piece. And Grease 2 was directed by Pat Birch, who was the choreographer of the Broadway show. So she wanted me to do that role badly because they wanted to put a rock star in that role because there weren't any known faces. Michelle had just done, I think, Hollywood Nights.
This is Michelle Pfeiffer
with Tony Danza.
Right.
At that point, it wasn't a big hit or anything like that.
I remember it,
And Maxwell Caulfield was not. He was an English actor, but hadn't done much. And they really wanted a rock star in that role, but Pat wanted me to do it. So she strategically brought me in. After they would see one of Casey and the Sunshine Boys or one of the Gibb brothers or whatever, and then I went in and said, "All right, it's still his. All right, it's still." Until after 12 callbacks, they finally said,
"Wow,
it's his role."
Well, honestly, I watch it every time it's on. It has a good energy to it. You're again sort of a self-deprecating, funny guy. The whole bowling sequence is pretty. It's. You can't help but get swept up in it, and it has its own energy. And to this point, you had a lot of talented people involved with it.
Yeah, a lot of people came out of that thing. Even the Seagal twins went on. The girls who were the cheerleaders went on to have their own series.
You have a lot of fans in Philadelphia, and to prove that, I'm gonna show something to you. I don't know if anybody has made you aware of this or not, but I think Steve made an offhand comment one day about. Somebody getting an Adrian Zemed tattoo. So we do this feature every Tuesday called Tattoozy. People come in and actually get a tattoo from our show. It's called the Preston Steve. They'll get a tattoo with us in it, and we've been doing it for years and years and years. We had a guy who called in and volunteered to get an Adrian Zemed tattoo.
God, I'm looking at it right now.
This is a guy. That's your face on his right pec. It's huge. This was within the last year.
Within the last year, yeah.
Yeah, that we
and the
had
guy
this done.
eagerly came in.
Please tell me that that's not permanent.
That's permanent. That's a real tattoo on this man's
So when
chest.
he's 90 years old and I look 90 on his chest.
Yes.
What was I thinking?
So we took a picture of you from Greece too, and that is now permanently on this guy's chest, Adrian.
This reminds me of something that Sally Struthers said about tattoos back when we were doing Greece. She said, "Oh yeah, back in the '60s, I was a flower child. I got a tattoo of a butterfly on my butt. Now it's going into its cocoon."
We're so delighted that you had a chance to come by here. We are big fans.
Nice to come in.
We knew you'd be great.
Yeah,
be
we
with
knew
you
you'd
guys.
be cool. That's great, man. Excellent.
It's my pleasure.
And you know what? We should do a promotion where we go bowling with Adrian sometime.
Yeah.
How cool would that be? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, some love for Adrian's man. Thank you so much. There was an email that was sent out that we were going to have our studios checked because there may have been bed bugs brought into the area. And we've had everything checked out. They actually just brought a dog in to sniff. Yeah, I think it was Jack Russell is what it looked like.
Josie was her name.
Josie is the dog. And there's no bed bugs.
Well, no, that's not true. There were on a chair.
Oh, was there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Or yeah, it was sort of
One
like
chair.
a warm zone or something.
A warm
like that
zone.
They call those.
That's
So-
what I call my
There's
chairs at
hot
home.
zone.
Yeah, my warm zone.
I think what everybody was worried about was an infestation, which I guess is not the case if it was just on the chair. I don't know.
Just on the chair. The rest of the place is apparently clean. Josie scoured our studio and nothing.
And I'm never coming back again.
You would have thought there was a radiation leak here.
Yeah. So I never told my wife that there was a bed bug.
She wouldn't have let you go to work.
No.
That was the first thing I told my wife,
Yeah.
and I started laughing.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I'm surprised that's all we have. They're ripping the entire building apart, walls that haven't been opened up in years.
Yeah.
I imagine at night there must be a big vermin hoedown when we leave. Because you walk around, there's these caverns. Like a wall will disappear.
Yeah.
There's a big opening now.
Yeah.
You walk down one hole, it's 11 degrees, and then the next hole, it's 1,400 degrees. It's a whole new environment. It's like you're on some spaceship that's just, morphing all the time, and that's what this is here.
Well, I'm just glad that they alerted us to it.
Yeah.
Because during some of the construction, apparently they were removing asbestos, and nobody ever told us.
Well, that's when that wall went up down at the end of the hallway.
Yeah.
Because, and I almost walked into that wall. That's how quickly it went up. I started to turn down to go down to what I thought was Chuck's office down the hall that used to exist.
Like Looney Tunes.
And there was a wall.
So my wife will, when we go check into a hotel, it's always the same situation. We open the door, we shut the door, we leave our bags right at the door while she goes and strips all the beds and looks through all the furniture for bed bugs. She's like definitely
fanatical.
So before you guys even enter the room,
we have to leave our bags at the door. There's an inspection.
I really wanted to come in a hazmat suit or some sort of bubble, but I couldn't find anything.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going through our text chain, and I'm like, hey, by the way, this is going on. I'm not going to tell my wife. And then Kathy immediately goes from 0 to freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
Get the F out of here. I'm not coming into work tomorrow. Who the F has bed bugs? Holy F, no, like 1,000 exclamation points. And then she says, do you know how hard it is to get rid of bed bugs? What's the company going to do about it? And when? And then Preston sends a GIF, of like a bed bug jug band.
Yeah, playing music. And then Kathy fires back, that's not funny.
It's not funny.
I think I said F you to anybody who's not taking this seriously.
And then I think Nick said, read Joe's email. And then Kathy says, F the email, F the bed bugs, and F whoever doesn't think this is a big deal. Where are we going to do our show tomorrow? Clearly, we can't go to the station, and we need an on-site location.
My house is
She was
clean.
ready.
My house is clean.
Yeah. You're ready to set up shop somewhere else. to do a live
100%.
broadcast.
If you guys would have said, yeah, we have to do the show somewhere else, I would offer it up my house.
Oh, really? Oh, my God.
So it was one bug down the hall, right?
Yes!
Okay, I'm just asking.
Could you see Casey coming home? Diane wants to check him, so she takes out the blue light. Doesn't find any bed bugs. Just semen
Bathed in
stains.
semen, yeah.
All over my face.
We're good.
The woman was saying that they have dogs that can do all sorts of that check for bugs that actually will.
Wait a minute. I thought you meant that bed bugs use dogs. to travel
Well,
around.
yeah,
on.
Mush, mush.
for a ride.
I thought you meant as piggybacking.
You've never seen the bedbug Iditarod?
No.
It's good. Yeah.
It must be majestic.
It's compelling.
Yeah, good dog, good dog. Good dog. Yeah. I love being out here in the open range. Yeah.
All right, let's do music news.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Hailstorm singer Lizzie Hale has confirmed in an interview that the band is compiling a special package to celebrate the 10th anniversary of its self-titled debut album. Released in 2009, the LP featured the single I Get Off. I get off.
Bill Weston, I get off.
So anyhow, Hailstorm...
I'm going to shoot. Oh, dude.
I get off. All right. Now I'm thinking about Bill at the moment of ecstasy.
Oh,
I know. I know.
Bill's pillow talk. I get off. I'm going to shoot.
Yeah. It's about to happen. You feel a little tingling.
Heading down the tunnel.
Another
tunnel of love. Barn door. Barn door. Barn door's open.
Look at the door.
Quickly, massage my low-hanging fruit. I'm almost there.
There's no way we can do a meeting today. There's no way.
Steve just canceled the meeting.
I can't look at him ever again.
What do you think the recap's going to be like today?
Oh, Lord.
I think we got a C-.
Yeah.
Well, the Bella show is done. Maybe he's talking to him right now. Is Thursday, June 6th. Today is Tom Araya's birthday. He's in a band. Casey, could you say that name for me, please?
Yeah. It's
if you don't mind. Thank you. Anytime that I actually need to say the word Slayer,
let him do it.
I'm going to have Casey do. I can't yell like that.
The band.
We also have Tom Araya, singer and bassist from Slayer. Ladies and gentlemen, Slayer. And he is. That's the only way you can say the name of that band. He's 53 years old today.
Yeah, I can't yell like that.
He is 58 years old today, by the way. So, yeah, maybe it's time to hang it up.
But possible.
You can only do that hardcore to a certain age, and then you're done. Message I'll read to you real quick. It says, so excited that you have got the best wrestler in TNA to come in. Matt and his brother Jeff were legendary from WWE, and their careers are amazing. So excited. So with that, we welcome from TNA Wrestling, and they've got matches starting tonight. Matt Hardy is here today. Morning, Matt.
Good morning, guys. Very happy to be here. There's the music, the iconic music.
Right there.
Very, very cool.
Nice.
Super excited to be back in Philly. Philly's one of the greatest wrestling cities that has ever existed, and I've got so many great memories here. The first time my brother and I won the tag team titles, it was in our hometown, but we really weren't the greatest tag team in the world. The next time we won them was in Philadelphia, and we had earned them by that point. It was in a cage match, which was hot, and it was so cool and great. So Philly is a city that has a lot of special memories, and I have a lot of great feelings about it.
Yeah, it's so anytime we have wrestlers come through the area, they talk about the particularly, supportive fan base here, and there's schools and wrestling schools and things in the area, and it just has a rich history. You've been at it for decades, right?
Yeah.
And going strong. I'm doing a little reading up on your research, and it's WrestleMania 33, and I'm watching this. We've all been to the wrestling matches and then the events and all that stuff, and it is an amazing thing to see. But you and your brother came out, and I've never heard a crowd go that crazy for an event, which is routinely some of the loudest entertainment you'll ever see in person. Right. It was insane. So you come out, explain what happened and why that was so important for people who aren't familiar with the Hardy Boys and your return.
That was just a really huge moment for us. It was really kept as a surprise, which is hard to do in the wrestling business in this day and age. In the age of information and the internet, most things get out, so only a handful of people know about that. But myself and Jeff, we obviously made our name in the WWE. It was a huge part. Without those guys, we wouldn't have became who we are. And whenever we returned, it was like such a secretive deal. And we came into a tag team title match and we won the tag team title. So the people went nuts. And we're coming from TNA at this time where I'm at here tonight.
Right.
And the whole broken universe, broken Matt and Brother Nero, we had gotten this over huge. And to see these, tens of thousands of people going, delete, 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 something we created somewhere else, and it was viral here. It was just an amazing feeling. And just people really were genuinely surprised about it, which is special. Last week, I had a huge match with Moose, and my brother showed up at TNA. Wow. And once again, it was a genuine surprise where people went nuts in Chicago at the TNA Against All Odds event. And tomorrow night, he's going to be here, and we're having our first tag team match together, and it's going to be a title match. It's going to be huge tomorrow.
Wow. Okay, so it's at the 2300 Arena, by the way, and you can get shows at 23arena.com. Steve had mentioned, you can also get it at TNAWrestling.com. Steve had mentioned, Matt, that you've been at this for decades. Obviously, you've got to keep yourself in great shape for that. But what I want to know is, what is your skin regimen? Because you look like you're 28 years old. Look at you. How do you stay so young?
That's
youthful?
Amazing. Thank you for that compliment. I will take that all day long. I'm a little more tough on my skin, I think. I don't really do anything special. I try and eat healthy. My big thing recently, and I did it this morning, I went and I got the 2 biggest trash cans I could find in our room, and I went to the ice machine and filled them up with ice. I ran a cold bath and I dumped the ice in. I'm a big ice.
You like that ice bath stuff?
Huge.
So everyone raves on that, from Rogan to athletes. Everybody is like, so what do you notice an immediate, besides shrinkage, do you notice an immediate benefit from it when you take that plunge?
Yes, with the exception of the immediate shrinkage. you do notice, it gives you, it just wakes you up.
Right. Yeah.
It does something to your liver where it releases these super proteins that burns fat. It's helped me in dropping weight and dieting as well.
I'm wondering if I should check this out.
And it gives you like this, almost like a high.
Really?
From taking the more, because it releases certain chemicals in your body that just makes you happy and you feel good. It's tone for the day.
I remember ages ago seeing some research that was done, and they were testing this on athletes, like right before they would perform. They would put them in sub, temperatures because of that very thing. Because when you get cold, you all of a sudden you're like, bang, you're like wide awake.
Yeah.
Is it something that you do right before a match, or is this just to get your day started? You'll do the cold plunge.
I do it to get my day started. When I'm at home, I have a gym in my house. The first thing I do is do a cold plunge, and I have a big deep bathtub, jacuzzi tub, and I'll fill it up with ice, and I'll get in there, and that will wake me up. And it really like sets the pace for my day. It's hard for me to go if I don't get to do it in the morning now. My day isn't as good.
I'm going to start looking into this because everyone's telling me about this.
They have little portable blow up ones that you can get and throw in your backyard. But I was going to tell you, we have a friend who has created this ice plunge oasis in his backyard, and he goes out even in the middle of winter and he'll get in it, and it has soothing music playing. He's got vines, this lattice above him, and then the ice plunge.
That sounds like an absolute paradise.
God, I hate it so much. I hate super cold water. I just can't stand it. I guess you would have to acclimate over time and kind of get yourself used to it.
You do. My wife is like that too, and I'm telling her, I'm saying you should try this, whatever. But she just hates being cold. She
How long?
hates about being cold. But
How long do you plunge?
It depends. So you said that about outside. I started doing it when it became winter in my pool, and I just left the heater off, obviously. And I would go in my pool where it would be 30, 40 degrees, and that's where I started doing it. And just the effects, my hips and lower back are beat up from doing leg drops for 25 years, slamming on the wood and steel night after night after night, and just that it reversed that effect. And I can even tell my brain has helped clear my brain a little bit. It's been so beneficial, and it's something I'll never stop doing now.
So you just turned 50, or
I'll be 50 in September. I'm a couple months away.
So you look fantastic. So
you don't look 50.
I'm going to plunge every day now.
I want this studio filled up with cold water right now because I'm looking at you and I'm like, God damn it. But that's something obviously we talk about it all the time with all the performers that come in. There's a lot of wear and tear on your body when you're doing what you do for a living. I mean, so besides that, do you do anything else? Do you do yoga? Do you do goat yoga? Is there a regimen? Because your body is your moneymaker.
Yes. I do. I do use some yoga. DDP, another very famous wrestler, started his own yoga program. There's a lot of stuff he does that I incorporate in my workouts, and then I just try and work all my different body parts, like knock on wood. But I'm not big on curses or bad lucks or whatever else. I've never torn a muscle because I try and lift. Not heavy, but I do a lot of reps, and I just try and keep all my ligaments and tendons strong.
For
and whatnot.
endurance?
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. And just, the wear and tear of slamming your body on wood and steel, night after night after night, especially when, I'm 32 years deep in doing this.
32 years.
And myself and my brother have taken some of the worst bumps of any pro wrestlers in their career because we're so notoriously famous for ladder matches and TLC matches.
I was watching a footage of your brothers. There was a collection just popped up in the algorithm because I was going down this hole and watching all this stuff, bringing back memories and just seeing this cool stuff of just 25, 24-foot drops onto tables, the ladder stuff, all that stuff. You were really lucky that you haven't, what about his record? Is he okay as far as injury or?
He's doing okay. He started doing cold plunges before.
Okay, yeah.
Huh. So he was the one that kind of turned me onto it, and I was like, oh, well, I don't know. But then once you start, you can't really turn back.
Who's the oldest? Are you the older brother?
I am the oldest. Yeah,
So
I'm 2 years and change older.
So, question about that, because Steve and I we were having all three of us a discussion off air about the movie Iron Claw, which is about the Von Erich dynasty, wrestling dynasty. Who kind of led the way to get into professional wrestling? Did you both dive in at the same time, or did you kind of lead it because you were the older brother?
We both started at the same time, but I'm definitely the architect behind the group. I'm the guy that kind of makes things happen. When it comes to dealing with business, he doesn't do that. I'm literally the architect, and I kind of handle our business. Jeff's just the rock star.
Okay.
And he's just like, oh, okay, Matt, tell me what I need to do. And then he goes out there and gets the biggest.
That's the best kind of brother you could have. Just listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So who was your first? Was it Macho Man? Was that your first idol? Yeah. That's the guy you said I want to do that.
Yeah, Macho Man is the guy that he really caught a hold of me. In WrestleMania 4, he was in the tournament for the World Heavyweight title, and he ended up winning it, and I bet on him. And from that moment on, myself and my brother, we were fans, and we never stopped watching.
He was the first one we ever met. We had him in the studio years and years ago, 25 years ago, him and Gorgeous George. For me, it was amazing. So what was great was that he shows up early in the morning, and he's kind of like, whatever, and he's like, I need to use the bathroom. So he and Gorgeous George go into a bathroom.
Together.
It's only a one-toilet bathroom in this place. And they were in there for about 5 minutes. The door opens, and he's like, oh, yeah. So I don't think he was going to the bathroom. If you
That was his ice bathroom. It said his day rate. Yeah.
But he's exactly what you wanted him to be when he came out of the bathroom.
There's snow involved.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. So your wife, Casey was telling me you and your wife are having a match against another husband and wife wrestling team. Now, I'm not well versed in the entire TNA, group that goes. So tell us about who you're fighting and what's going on and what this is a big deal about.
Yes. My wife, Rebecca Hardy, who is a social media influencer right now, huge deal online, like TikTok, Instagram, stuff like that, even YouTube. She's great at her content. That's what she does. She's a content creator more than anything else. But she wrestled before, so she hasn't been able to. She hasn't wrestled for 8 years because I've kept her pregnant for the last 8 years.
Can't do that with your brother.
Yeah, well, right. Unfortunately. But I, we have kids that are now 9, 7, 4, and 2. So it's very exciting that our kids are going to get to watch mom and dad wrestle together. And we're wrestling tonight. She talked about doing this, and then whenever she ended up getting the opportunity, she's like, oh my God, what am I doing? I shouldn't be doing this. So I'm certainly at that point where I don't really get nervous. I'll be nervous for her. But we're going out and we're wrestling Eddie Edwards and Alicia, his wife, today. And they just did a deal where they screwed me in the last match against Moose. I had the title won, and she cost me the title, and then they attacked my wife on top of that. So we're coming for vengeance. And my wife is Puerto Rican. She has that hot, short Latin attitude. So she's going to be she's
bringing the fire.
Throw chunklas at people tonight.
Right. That is cool. And you talk about her. She's an influencer and very active. You're very active. Decades ago when social media didn't even exist, you're now to this point where you've got a lot of eyes on you. Your numbers are really good as far as followers. But I was reading about how you dispense advice to younger wrestlers. and your assessment of what social media is and isn't. Explain what you tell them, because I think it's very salient to point.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I can't say about social media is this. I said this probably 12 years ago, like once I really got the grasp of it. I'll say I started using social media back in, 06, 07. And WWE is like, I don't think you should use that so much, whatever, stay off it a little more. And I was like, I don't know. I think this is going to be a great tool to gain an audience. Best thing about social media, it gives everyone a voice. The worst thing about social media, it gives everyone a voice.
Yeah.
Exactly it.
And if you're a pro wrestler and you're looking for that instant, immediate feedback and you go online after your match, it's just, you have to remember that the compliments, they're not necessarily real, but also the insults aren't necessarily real, because social media is like a niche audience in many ways. People aren't accountable, and whatever you read on there doesn't necessarily reflect real life, and that's something that is hard for people to remember.
It's hard especially when you live. It's interesting though, wrestling outside of so many other forms of entertainment. There are people who actively look to be despised by the audience. That look, like a Rick years ago, like Ric Flair, and people who cultivated these characters that want to piss the audience off. So that can work in your favor as well. But still, I think you're right. Realize that it's a smaller group that's active on social media, and so you yourself, will you look at comments? Does it even matter to you if people are blowing up the your accounts with comments? Does that matter, or are you paying attention?
I mean, they do. I keep track of it. I just know, like, not to take it to heart. I can read through things and I'm not emotionally invested or connected into it. It's nice if you do something and you feel very good about it and people love it. There's going to be people that hate it and think it's awful too. Whenever I started doing the broken Matt Hardy persona, which is what gave my career a jump start, and that happened here in TNA in 2016, there were a lot of people that go like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. It's a throwback to wrestling, the old school days. And there's some people that were saying, this is the worst trash I've ever seen in pro wrestling. But the thing about it is it was polarizing, and people were invested one way or the other. So I knew we were on to something, because that's the biggest thing. You need to get people's attention and get them to care about you.
So, Matt, I read this on social media, so forgive me if it's untrue, because as you just mentioned, sometimes those things are not. But is Pearl Jam your favorite band?
Pearl Jam is. I would say Pearl Jam overall is my favorite band. I'm a big Public Enemy fan. I'm a big Kings of Leon fan, too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's Kings of Leon and Pearl Jam have a bit of a relationship. Eddie's opened for them, or they've opened for Eddie, and Eddie's sung with them. Pearl Jam's my favorite band as well, which is why I bring it up.
Yep.
You seen them on this tour at all?
I haven't on this tour yet, but I would definitely like to.
Do you get to have a lot of free time with your job? Because you guys are on the road incessantly. It's nonstop. What do you do in your free time, and how much free time do you get?
I don't get a ton of free time, mainly just because of kids. The majority of my free time is spending time with kids and just trying to, shape them and forge them into being decent human beings. But that's also very enjoyable. I couldn't imagine life without kids now, especially now that we have 4 young kids. That is probably what consumes the majority of my free time, just doing stuff with them.
Are you seeing any inclination with your kids about an interest in following in your footsteps? And if so, how would you respond to that?
Oh my God, yeah, they're very big into it. We actually just did a thing for TNA Wrestling where the Hardy compound is the property myself and my brother we live on, which is our family land, which is 96 acres. It kind of became a character in some of the stories in pro wrestling, and we've had these matches out there, Hardy compound deletion matches, whatever. We just did a segment with the System, who were out there, and all my kids were involved. They all had verbiage. They all did great. They were all excited. My oldest, who just turned 9 a couple days ago, he came off the top of a 10-foot ladder, and like we had a guy who was laying down there, and it's like these guys were kind of hallucinating. It's kind of how the whole thing played out. But this is so funny. There was a pad. We wanted him to jump off the top and land on the pad, and then we're going to have him jump lower and land on the guy. And he said, "It's okay, Dad. I can just land on the guy from 10 feet already."
Yeah.
Easy. 9 years old.
Wow. That's amazing.
I guess it's never uttered "stop wrestling" in the house.
Well, no. My wife says stop fighting all the time. Okay. Then she starts fighting and beating and whipping the children. But no, they're very into it. Now I feel like my boys will definitely be interested in it. It's going to be really interesting to see what our girl ends up doing, because we have 3 boys and we finally had a girl. So
your wife now is also
I was wondering why 4.
Yeah,
you had to keep going. Yeah, we did the same thing. I have 3, but yeah, we were going until we got a girl.
She's going to be. She's got 3 older brothers. She's the only girl, and she is the 4th. She'll be tough.
Yeah, she is going to be tough, no doubt. And she's like fearless and crazy. Like she sees them jumping off stuff, she's trying to do it.
Oh, wow.
Where's the Hardy compound? What state do you live in?
I am in North Carolina.
Okay.
Specifically in Cameron, North Carolina, which is a little podunk town outside of like Southern Pines Pinehurst, if you're a golf person.
I am.
We're about 15, 20 minutes from there. And it's 45, 50 minutes south of Raleigh-Durham.
Okay. Why'd you choose that area, or are you from there?
Born and raised. I was born and raised on that property. My dad was there.
This is the property that for your whole family.
The Hardy compound.
Wow.
Yes. And on those 96 acres, I cut off a piece, and then my brother cut off a piece, and we still both live on that property.
How did you avoid the southern drawl? I mean, you got just the teeny itty bit in there.
Oh my! It was terrible. At first, I go back and listen to people. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I sounded like that.
Yeah.
I think it just leveled out from traveling so much. When I was 18, we started traveling in WWE, and I traveled the world, and I feel like it's just leveled out.
Okay. When I was a kid, I lived in South Carolina for a few years, and I picked up a really thick Southern accent because I was a little kid at the time. Do they still, instead of saying hi, do people say hey? Because that's what, y'all be insured, tell them I said hey now.
Yeah, hey.
Hey.
Hey. Well, I reckon they're going to tell you hey.
Yeah.
He's fixing to have breakfast.
Sure enough.
I wanted to ask you with this many years in the business, and we've talked to so many people, a finishing move, coming up with a finishing move, or any move that there's going to be sort of your benchmark or your your iconic moves. With you guys, the twist of fate, right? Is that a lot of sweat that goes into that? Like, what are we going to do? What are we going to come up with? Because there's variations of so many things, and so many wrestlers have done so many things.
Yes.
So what is the weight of not
stealing?
Yeah,
exactly. Kind of like a comedian.
Like a comedian. Right.
Yeah.
So how do you thread that needle?
Yeah, that's a great analogy. I mean, I think it's great that we've had the twist of fate in place now for 25 years. Once we got with Michael P.S. Hayes of the Fabulous Freebirds, I'm sure you've seen him a little bit if you watched some world-class wrestling back in the day. He had a couple ideas, and he's like, well, you know how DDP's doing that diamond cutter is real good. He said, I think we could start in a headlock and then swing through and do that, and it's a whole new move now, and we can call it the JLT, just like that. And I said, well, I mean, that's cool. I said, but I think we should maybe update it a little bit. Jeff said, yeah, maybe we could call it like the twist of fate or whatever it may be.
And then you just riff it. But you as the wrestler is going to execute it. You're like, who does this? Somebody do something like this? Or is it okay? Or am I stepping on toes? Or does that even come into consideration?
Yeah, I mean, it was different enough that nobody could really claim it.
Okay.
No one could copyright it except us.
All right.
What about catchphrases? What about those, having a signature phrase as a wrestler? Because sometimes they catch and sometimes they don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's once again, you're kind of learning on the fly when you do that. I mean, you just try different things, and it depends on what your story is, what your character is at that certain time. You just kind of try different things, and you kind of see what the audience bites on.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. How do you know?
Yes.
Is it, do they're repeating it back to you, or they're like you hear a chant, or how do you know when something sticks?
Yeah, well, a lot of times, I mean, there'll be immediate feedback, and they'll start catching on to it. Like one of the things that I did that got over one of the biggest things in my career was just the delete.
Yeah.
I mean, because whenever I did this Broken Matt, I wanted to be this different, weird character. Like maybe he's crazy, maybe he's supernatural, who knows? And I was just like, what's something I could do? Because everyone, they was like, I'm going to beat you, I'm going to defeat you, I'm going to destroy you, whatever. And I was like, well, what if I just said like delete?
Yeah.
And I even did just like, hey, you swipe on a phone
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
one finger, and I'd do it big. I said it's kind of like a cool word in society in general, because they go like, hey, stop that, delete that. It's kind of like viral on websites and whatnot and social media.
Yeah.
And then I started using that, and it caught on huge.
Do you ever have anything that you said, okay, I'm going to take this out, take it out, get up in the ring, you're ready to go, you deliver it, and the audience just looks at you like, what was that?
I'm sure there has.
Yeah.
There's been times where I've tried things, and sometimes you can, very slyly slide something in and just see if they buy it, if it works and whatnot, and move to plan B if it doesn't.
I think things like, well, we'll see about that wouldn't work. Yeah.
Well, we'll see about that.
Let's take a reasoned approach.
I think delete, I'll get back to you. Let me consider this. But delete says it all.
Delete works.
Well, listen, we love that you love our area, being in Philadelphia and performing for these rabid fans. And obviously, you're here through the weekend. There's a lot going on at 2300 Arena. Your bout with Moose, and then this married couple thing I'm intrigued by.
Very cool, yeah.
Pretty cool, man.
Tonight's intergender match is going to be really cool. And it's very exciting, especially for the people who know and follow my wife. She has a very cult-like audience. So they'll be out in full effect, and she's going to be fine out there. She's going to go out there, and it's just like riding a bike.
Are you more nervous for her?
Yes.
Yeah, this is her first event back.
Yeah, and in 8 years.
Wow. Okay, so it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, good luck, man.
Thank you.
Enjoy tonight. And by the way, 2300arena.com or TNAwrestling.com, you'll be able to check out Matt Hardy. Thanks for being here, Matt.
Thank you guys for having me.
Matt Hardy, everybody. All right. Give him his music, his outro. And there it is. All right, with that, we are going to take a break. We'll come back in just a moment. We got Matt Bellamy stopping by. He's going to be at City Winery, so we'll return shortly with him. Stay put.
Preston and Steve.
Preston and Steve.
On
Actually, never had that conversation with my father, but I just had that conversation with my son. I pulled him into a room. It was just he and I talking. I said, "Hey, listen."
You listen to me.
No. I said, "This. This is not to embarrass you.
Okay.
I'm just telling you. You're not a little kid anymore. You're turning into a young man, and so you're at a point in your life where you have to shower every single day, and you have to put deodorant on under your arms every single
right?
time."
I mean, that's a standard talk, right?
Casey, the reason we had the talk with my son, who's 12, is because he stunk.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where it's like, dude, you need to shower more.
But it's
and
embarrassing when you
do
hear that.
When you do shower, you need to wear deodorant because there's an effect, and it's just what happens when you get a little bit older. But like, he needs to do it because he's gonna get made fun of. He'll be the stinky. I don't want to have the stinky kid.
The stinky kid.
No.
One thing I didn't do throughout my entire school, and I've mentioned this on the air before, and that is junior high and high school, I never washed my gym clothes. Ever.
No?
Oh, I think a lot of kids.
The whole year. I know, right?
All right. Did you go to gym a lot?
Every day.
Okay. Were you active in gym, or were you a cool kid standing off to the side?
No,
okay.
no. Yeah,
You were the kid that smelled like Doritos.
You had to participate. Doritos.
Yeah, that's what the gym suit would smell like if you didn't wash
We
it.
said hoagies. We go. So we say to the kids, "All right, you got to take a shower. You smell like hoagies."
We should put out a Twitter poll. What does body odor smell like? Because we've heard hoagie and Doritos. And now that I remember, I do remember associating smell with, I think, my own body odor. You ever sniff your own pit? Do a little
yeah,
sniff
occasionally.
check?
Yeah.
You have to check.
So I remember smelling when I was younger that I always thought that my own armpit smelled like onions and mustard.
Really?
Yes. To get mixed together.
Now, would you normally eat that?
Yes.
Okay,
on
so
hot
it's
dogs.
pleasant for you.
Yeah. So I kind of liked it.
So
Yeah.
maybe that's why.
Mine.
Maybe you did actually. You're sweating out the onions.
I didn't even think about that.
Well, you can sweat out garlic.
Yeah.
Like if you eat a very garlic-based diet, and when you sweat, you can smell like garlic.
Yeah. Which is a fairly pleasant
Can you
smell,
sweat
right?
out apple crumbles?
Yeah. Apple crumbles.
Let's try.
I don't know.
What about chocolate chip cookies?
Blueberry.
I just want to see if I'm missing an opportunity here to sweat out chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
So hoagies, Doritos, and mustard and onions, and I'm sure there are other people that have a scent that they basically have labeled as body odor.
Well, of course, we talked about this, that the old belief is that when white people, Caucasians, get wet, they smell like dogs.
Like wet dog.
Right.
Yep,
and dogs' paws smell like corn chips.
Yeah.
And that is actually true.
Yeah.
So these different things. I don't know. We tend to be enamored of our own smell, right? To some extent.
Enamored with our own? Yeah. I mean, that's why the smell of your own farts is actually really good. It's a pleasant thing.
Not always.
Well, listen, you can
Every single time.
You can blow yourself out every now and then.
No, you
but
can't.
you're pretty proud of it.
Well, yes, exactly. That's the fine distinction.
That's
Is
a
even though
prize winner right
it
there.
may be horrible, you're like, oh my God, I'm a champion.
I've had to leave the room from my own.
You've offended yourself with your own gas?
I didn't say I wasn't proud of it. I was like, man, that was strong enough to make me leave.
Did you walk out cursing yourself?
Yeah.
What kind of animal am I?
Kind of impressed.
I honestly, Nick, I didn't think that was possible. Like, I swear to God, the worse that it smells for you, the best that it smells for me.
Okay.
Like, if it's a really bad one, where I'm like, oh man, Preston's gonna be really
It's like
mad.
licking your elbow. It's almost impossible to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have one that's coming and you can tell by the
it's gonna be
by
bad.
the heat and so on, or the pressure, and you know it's going to piss me off, do you actually go, oh yeah, that's a good one?
No.
You don't take a little sneak sniff for yourself?
All right.
Oh, I always take it.
All right, we need to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I will say,
The cup and the have you cupped recently?
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I never cup. I never got. No,
You don't have to.
I don't have to. I'm an old pro.
Amateurs.
It's also a good way to run a self-diagnostic.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of relevant medical material to be gleaned from assessing your own odors.
Like,
I'm trying to make a case for cupping your fart.
I know you are.
Like, I love giving myself a Dutch oven. Like.
Really?
Oh, if it's a really bad one.
You'll pull the covers up?
Not only, I will just sneak under the covers. I'll be like, I'm going to just lay here for a little bit.
Do you know what's equally fun,
You're a
Casey?
disgusting human.
Casey, crap in a pillowcase and pull it over your head.
Kathy, what do you think about the smell of your own gas?
I think you guys
never
are
farted.
disgusting humans
Yeah?
right now.
I think
You pull
I think
like
you're a liar.
I think so too.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm not pulling the covers over my head and enjoying my own stench like Casey.
Yes, you are.
No.
No, she'll enjoy your stench.
1000%.
No, I don't think. We've talked about this before. You are very. I mean, obviously, the notion of passing gas liberally at home is not something that you do, correct?
You don't think I pass gas at home? Is that
No,
what you're
I
saying?
don't think you do. I don't think you stand in the middle of the room and go, ba-boom.
Yeah, he did it.
Hey, get over here. I think you go into the conservatory.
Pull my finger.
Felicity alum. Felicity.
Tonight on a powerful Felicity. Felicity shows up late for a chemistry class.
I'm sorry. I thought it was an 8.
Has to go to detention.
Go to detention. Felicity.
Carrie Russell.
Carrie Russell. She, formerly of the Long Locks, who killed her career by cutting her hair, but has now grown her hair back and is doing great things with the Americans.
So Carrie Russell was Felicity.
Sound like
history in Russell.
It's Carrie Russell's history.
Presented by Rita that she grew her hair back and it was wonderful.
Oh, gee.
She plays a commie bitch who pretends she's one of us. And those commies
In what?
in the Americans.
Oh, the Americans.
You don't watch that?
No,
She's
no.
a spy.
I don't watch that.
It's like that John Travolta, Kelly Preston movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know
The Experts.
the experts.
But she may join J.J. Abrams and Star Wars Episode 9.
We forget that it was J.J. Abrams who created and wrote a number of the
Felicity episodes.
I did forget that, yeah.
Yeah.
No word yet on whether she'll tackle a hero or a villain in the epic franchise. The movie begins shooting in London this month, by the way.
Unless we forget also that Carrie Russell won Mr. Skin's Best Butt Shot, I believe, in the Anatomy Awards.
Get a nice pooper.
No kidding. Casey says she's
got a hell of a pooper. kind of butt you want to spend a weekend spelunking at, if you know what I'm saying.
And we are back from vacation.
We are.
So the
Oh, yeah, this is nice. Is good stuff.
look, there's some soccer players in there from Thailand.
So the kids, I'm going to help you out.
You guys all right?
Wait, I see light from the badge.
Oh, God.
We can do this.
Wow.
It's a new survival story, unlike any other.
Walk this way, kids. Here we go. Is it a stalagmite or a stalactite?
The tight or from the ceiling stalactite hang on top, and the mites are.
You know that?
Yeah, that's the old stalactite.
It's tight. It hangs
tight.
on, and stalagmite might make it to the ceiling if it keeps growing. So.
And all of this is taking place in Felicity.
in Felicity's butt.
Okay, yeah.
Text says, driving my kids to daycare, my 2-year-old is calling my 1-year-old a commie bitch. Thanks. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Well, they're learning about a time in our history that was very important.
This is one of these meetings in with the town where people can get up and speak their mind. And this young man got up and he had a take on legalizing prostitution.
So I propose this. The city allows for licensed masseurs to give genital massages if the masseur and the client both agree to it. We let someone get naked and have every other part of their body touched and rubbed by a massage therapist. Hell, we let proctologists spend their day men and sticking things. So if someone wants to yank a guy's crank, I say let him.
Oh my God.
That really is as inspiring as FDR's speech on December 8th, 1941.
I love the last part of that. Hang on.
So if someone wants to yank a guy's crank, I say let him.
I say
And so I say to you, if someone wants to yank a man's crank, I say let them do it.
Okay.
And so by this time,
legit?
well,
maybe.
You know what? I don't care. But he was definitely in front of this group. He was prepared. He seemed, and then he goes on. It's not just enough to state that's your intent or what you'd like to see happen. Yeah. You have to provide.
You got to back it up.
Examples.
Yeah, some context.
Some context to it. Yes.
Here's clip 2.
Picture this: a big old sweaty fat guy would get with your hand actually be that much worse than giving him a full body massage, getting up in there under the folds of fat, or being the proctologist sticking your finger.
Holy hell.
If a grown adult wants a job, another grown adult is willing to give one for money, then let them. That would truly be a happy ending for everyone.
Okay.
Oh my God.
The crowd loved it.
There is, I think, legitimacy to his claim, by the way. Are we going there or are we not going there?
I want to hear. What do you think?
I like the way you.
Casey started doing
like a velociraptor all of a sudden.
His head was going left and right. Are we going here?
Well, yeah. I mean, dude, why is that illegal?
Rubbing tugs?
Yeah.
There is that. This is an age-old question about the. In fact, right before the Magna Carta came into being, there was the rub and tug.
I mean, there is a separation of church and state, right? So, is morality a church thing?
Wow, this got a lot deeper than I thought. We were simply playing a goofball, but you want to work out whether prostitution or the sex trade should be legitimized.
Well, maybe we should put them in malls.
Let's talk about abortion. Let's lighten things up a bit.
Once you've starred in a movie that's nominated for an Oscar, it's safe to say that you're famous, right?
Yeah.
Well, Saoirse Ronan, who is 24 years old, still doesn't feel famous, though. Yeah, she's adorable.
Yeah.
I love her and the accent.
It's wonderful.
She's just thinking.
It's at a garden party, asking inappropriate questions to Meghan Markle.
I love how they drop the G on ING words. Ronan continued saying she avoided reading about her. So she said,
I was farting.
What was that sound?
I was farting. Farting hard. You just know that'd be adorable. Just outside, standing in the glen, farting.
In the glen.
The glen. The morning dew collected on the leaves and grass. Yeah. Just decided it'd be a good time for farting. It does sound better, doesn't it?
Oh,
it does.
Oh, it needs to be a song.
Where were you, Auntie Saoirse?
This gentleman's got shows, and they are selling out fast, man. There's a show tonight at 6, but you missed. The tickets are sold out. There's one at 9:30, though, and then Saturday shows are sold out. Get them now and go see Bill Bellamy.
That's how we do it. Not Matt, but Billy.
Yeah. I know.
That's all right, man. We still love you, bro.
I'm a little punch drunk, man. I was telling these guys this morning, I woke up, I get out of bed, I go get in the shower, brush my teeth and everything. I'm getting ready to put my clothes on. I look on the TV and I see somebody I normally don't see on the TV at that time. And I'm like, what is she doing on? She doesn't do the morning show. It was 11 p.m. I woke up to go to work at 11 p.m.
You definitely on medication.
Today, yeah, I apologize.
You definitely on medication. That's like when your father be doing little weird stuff. Like, Dad, he ain't take it today. Did you see that debate last night?
I did not.
I did.
Let me tell you something. They got to do their debate in the morning.
Yeah.
Bro, that was painful, man, to see people that old. That's like, when I get that old, just put me out in the yard. You know what I mean? Like, when you get that kind of old, don't nobody want to hear it.
Well, as the old saying goes, you don't give the remote to people that old.
Yeah. So why I'm going to sit here and let my great-grandfather talk all day?
Yeah. And
Bill,
so...
my mom always says, it's okay, you can roll me off a bridge.
Yeah. I mean, when you get old, that's my biggest fear, to get old and be a rambler.
Yeah.
You know, that reminds me when I was... Shut up, Grandpa!
What is it that kicks in that's it's hard to suffer people who think their stories are interesting when they're younger.
Right.
But what happens when you get older and you think everyone is it because time's running out? I got to get this all out.
But what happens, I think, when you get real old, you have a memory that's popped back in your head out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So just start talking. I'm gonna show you how old people do. Go.
So
that reminds me of '73. I had a Pinto. It was a yellow Pinto, and my father gave it to me. It was $75. Like they just randomly start.
Like a synapse fires. Yeah, you're right.
I just don't want to be that old. I want to be old enough to not care no more.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to worry too much about being old. There's a text message that came in on our YouTube channel. People watching around. It says, "Dude, black does not crack. It does not look like Bill has aged at all."
Thank God. It doesn't. Black does not crack, but it will dent. I got one knee that's a little dented.
So you're in good shape. We always kind of stuck with that.
You too, man. I'm gonna tell you when I realized, like, in my mind, in my body, in my soul, I still feel 25.
Yeah.
Let me tell you when
Isn't
I
that a
realized I
shock?
was grown.
Yeah.
Listen to me. I was playing basketball with my son, and my son blew by me so fast, I just felt like, man, I remember in '73, I had a Pinto. No, but I literally, I couldn't get there. Back in the day, I could have just got there and kind of got in the front of him. He was gone. I was like, dang, that's fast.
It's wild that those things, we were talking about this, and we'd done a thing here about it involves skipping. Right. That's just a couple years ago. And I said I was a particularly good skipper and could replicate the Dorothy skip from The Wizard of Oz, and I could do it pretty quickly.
That's a good skip, too.
Right. Yeah. It took me a year to recover from that skipping injury.
Your hip flexor just tore off.
Everything went to hell. But you're right, and it catches you off guard because mentally I've had this,
I feel amazing.
Right? It doesn't change, or if you're lucky, it doesn't change.
They should have. Do you know how they have the blue pill for men?
Yeah.
They should have a blue pill for your body.
Your knees.
Like, there should be something to bring your knee back.
But
like 100% hopping where you can skip all day, where you don't get fatigued, where you could just play basketball or golf and don't have that shore. Like I played golf with my boys maybe 3 months ago, and this side of my body, I was in a car crash for 3 weeks. What is this rib cage thing when you play golf? It's the torque, like the swing.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Oh, dude, I hurt my plant leg. Do you bowl?
Yes.
So I plant with my left leg. If I bowl 3 games, I'm like, I got to
done.
Yes.
You need that blue pill for that leg.
Yeah. So let me ask you, this has been coming up, and I've been seeing a lot of nostalgia pointed towards the earlier days of MTV when it was just everything pop culturally speaking. That beach house, that MTV beach house, which to us as observers, that was your world.
Yes, sir.
Was it as Roman Empire, Caligula, indulgent as it appeared to us watching?
Yeah, the MTV beach house could not exist today.
Yeah.
Because you got to imagine, right? We're at the beach house. We are the #1 beach house in the world. People want to come there.
Yeah.
And it's nothing but girls with bikinis on all day.
Yeah.
So you were kind of pumped up. You know what I'm saying? You kind of stimulated.
Yeah.
Because we're shooting all the shows where it's supposed to look like summertime, perfect day.
And
so cute girls, all day.
And people would do anything to get to this house.
If you had a laminate on, somebody would lick the top of your head. I mean, your real head.
Yeah.
Like you got, we on the radio. Your forehead.
Your forehead.
Don't want to get canceled. But what I'm saying, when I didn't know how famous I was. My friends always tease me. They'd be like, Bill, if you had Instagram when you was on MTV, you'd have 10 million zillion followers, which would be probably true because you think back then, MTV was your magnet for what was cool, what albums were dropping, what people were wearing, what songs were going to be the big song of the summer.
Yeah.
So I felt like I had the perfect job, honestly. And what we would do, though, is we would party after we get off of work, too. We'd stay there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We didn't get off work. Oh, my God, I got to go home. We would get some brews and, that's white guy. I turned into a white guy. Dude, get some brews, man.
Right.
Yeah, some shrooms. First time I ever had a shroom. That's my white boy voice. white guys knew about cool stuff way before black guys. Like, I remember they'd be like, Bellamy, man, you got to carve some mountains, man. I was doing white boy stuff so crazy. Like, I started snowboarding, I started skiing, I started, you know how you get on the inner tube?
Yes.
And they pull you?
Yeah.
Only white guys could think of that. Like, what if you can't swim?
Yeah,
They didn't even ask me. Bellamy, we're going to pull you, man. Try to stay on as long as you can. Whoa! I slid across the entire lake.
Yeah. Skipping across.
fair, you know.
What do they call that when you pull? You got the inner
Tubing.
tube and the boat. What is it called?
tubing.
Just tubing.
Tubing.
White boy fun.
But that is just a thank you for the music, right?
Yeah, it was
right?
so much. I made so many new friends, and what I honestly loved about the '90s to me was it brought a lot of kids together. Like, I met people that came from all over the country, so especially when we would do spring break.
Yeah.
Because kids would come from Kentucky, North Carolina, New York, Philly, and they would converge on Daytona Beach.
Yeah.
So you would be meeting people that you would never meet, and they all come in to have a good time. We drove like 6 kids, get in the car. We got $150. We're driving because we want to party with Bill Bellamy kind of thing. And, when I first came to MTV, Pauly Shore was sort of like, he was ushering me in. So Pauly was starting to make movies.
We just had Poliano.
You did?
Yeah,
A couple weeks ago.
It was the same thing.
Man,
Yeah.
Pauly Shore, I got love for him forever, right? Because he was like, Bellamy, man, you're like a cool black guy, man. Listen, dude, you're going to love this world, man. I'm leaving, going to Hollywood, but this is he basically gave it to me.
Right.
This is wow. And I swear to God, can I say this on the radio? Yeah. This is funny, right? So the first thing I ever did with Pauly Shore was he was like, Bellamy, I want you to come with me to this contest, right? And I'm like, what kind of you're not going to believe this. He said, it's a banana eating contest. As a black guy, I'm ready to beat Pauly to death. Because I'm thinking he's insinuating some goofy stuff. He's like, Bellamy, trust me, it's not what you think, bro. Calm your horses down, man.
God,
This is going to be a banana eating contest. It's going to be fabulous. Girls everywhere. I was like, all right, whatever, right? We get there. It's like 4 guys. We at the table. And it's a line of women. They got a bunch of bananas, right? They got whipped cream, they got strawberries, they got chocolate, and they and something else, right?
Yeah.
And caramel.
Caramel. Yeah.
So first girl's up, all the way from Detroit. Give it up for Candace. Candace comes up. You got 30 seconds to eat the banana. I was like, ooh, I like bananas. By the time it got to the 6th girl, it was porn.
Yeah.
Yes. The 10th girl, she just whooped the banana just went away and then popped back out 2 seconds later. I was like, man, where is the next contest?
Dude, I remember that.
I would never forget that. You probably couldn't do that now. But this is like 90. 93.
Like
and this isn't on.
I never even heard of that.
And it's basic cable. It's not like you're not on HBO. You're watching at that time.
Yeah.
It's like, but you're right. It was one shade shy of straight up porn.
It was another thing, right? Quick, you making me remember stuff, right? So we're doing MTV, and I don't know if you guys remember, we used to have the bikini contest on live TV. Remember?
No, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we are in Panama City, and some real strippers got into the contest, but we don't know that, right?
Yeah.
So MTV would give you a bikini because it was sponsored by XY to the Z. These girls were pros.
Yeah.
They came with their own equipment, right? They made the regular girls look lame. Like they were like coming out. All right, all the way from Philadelphia, VA, we got Morgan. Morgan comes out. Dun dun dun. Everybody's like, oh, she's cute. 2 seconds later, here comes Capri from Spearmint Rhino. And the other girl's like, oh my God. She had on a thought. Do you remember? I'm going to tell you how bad it was. The girl, this is real boobs. The fake boobs wasn't out back then.
Yeah.
This is real stuff. Stuff was moving and jiggling. The girls had the string. They had the string and the string bikini part. They had to do the wiggly squiggly on live TV. You know the squiggly?
Yes.
Remember, so you couldn't see it?
Yeah,
They were like, and the kids were going around the squiggly. They're like, oh, I want to see that,
Yeah.
And they didn't have the tech. They couldn't.
They didn't have.
They didn't have motion capture.
Bro, you know what I'm talking about. Back in the day, they was like, if it was live, it was just live.
Yeah. So speaking of back in the day, you were talking. This is prior to coming here, you were talking about watching the Last Dance documentary.
Okay.
And there was a part in the movie where Michael Jordan was on the lot, and he had all these players come and play basketball on the lot.
Yes.
And as you're watching the documentary, you're like, oh my God, I was on the lot at the same exact time. What was going on in your world at that point?
So I was filming a movie at the time. I forget which.
Was it Fled?
No,
'Cause those two
so what
movies
year
came
was
out.
that? Was that 96?
96, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think I was in 96. I might have been either coming off of Love Jones or going right into How to Be a Player or something. Because I was filming, I remember at the time. So I ran into Michael Jordan at a restaurant in Beverly Hills. Mike was in town. And I heard people were saying like, yo, you know, Mike out here shooting Space Jam. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I think it was BOA. So I run into Mike. Mike was like, yo, Bill, what's up? What you doing? I was like, yo, what's up? We kitschy. Because I used to hang out with Mike in New York all the time when he would come to New York to play the Knicks or the Nets. So cool, speed. So Mike is like, yo, what you doing tomorrow? I said, nah, I'm chilling, man. I'm off tomorrow. He was like, yo, come to the bubble. I was like, the bubble? He was like, yeah, I got a little bubble out there. I'm working out, you know, some ball players. I heard you got a little bit of game. I was like, yeah, I'll come through there. Go there. Everybody there. Grant Hill, Toby, is it Toby Bailey, Jason Kidd, Damon Wayans. It was like crazy. Wow. I said, they built a bubble for Michael Jordan to play pickup? Yeah. I was like, I need some more money. I am not. They didn't build me nothing.
No. So with the
they might have gave me some bubble wrap in my trailer, but they didn't build a bubble, bro. Bubble in the parking lot, a dome for Michael Jordan. I say, yo, this is that level of stardom where they will do anything for you in Hollywood.
So you've been around so many people, so many.
Yes.
You got to interview Michael Jackson at one point, right? So you've been around people who had wealth. Who had the most obscene, blow you out of your socks wealth that you were around that you just said, I will never achieve this kind of?
Oh, I think the most wealthiest person I've been around is as an artist is Michael Jackson.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Mike was buying weird stuff. I'm gonna buy a giraffe.
Like, oh, okay. All right.
Today?
Yeah.
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
2? You just bought 2 giraffes? Like, people don't make purchases like that.
Right.
How do you scan a giraffe?
No, like Pablo Escobar had a hippo, you know what I mean? Like,
Mike was bugging.
Yeah.
Mike would buy this is why I tell people how famous Michael Jackson was, right? If Michael Jackson came in this radio station right now, it would be 40 people in here. It would get warm.
Yeah.
Because it would get warm. And everybody's back would be straight because it would feel like Secret Service. Bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's how he was rolling, right? So when I interviewed Michael Jackson came deep. I mean, it was a bunch of people, publicists, managers, security. They was clearing out bathrooms. If you was on the toilet, they'd be like, break it off. Break it off right now. I'm not done. Break it off. Break it off. The dude would break it off for you, pick you up, your ass up, and shut it off for you. Get out. Mike got a booger. Mike got a blower, so you got to get out of here, right?
Get out.
So just to show you the kind of money, right?
Yeah.
People got to understand stardom. Nobody could be this famous. Michael Jackson would be at a hotel. The entire floor had to be rented out.
Yeah.
And he would be there for a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you got to understand, no one's going to floor 29.
Yeah.
No one except security. So imagine spending that kind of money everywhere.
Yeah.
No one is going on that floor. It's locked.
Is there anybody, Bill, at this point that has that kind of
Taylor Swift.
Taylor.
I was going to jump in there because, listen,
the closest.
like Preston had mentioned, he was at the supermarket last week, and she was literally on the cover of every magazine on the
Taylor
rack.
Swift.
I took a picture of it.
Yeah.
Every single magazine she was on the cover.
And
she's close.
Earlier this week, Jason Kelsey from formerly of the Eagles had this thing down the shore, and there was rumors that Travis was going to be there, and somebody was like, "Oh, Taylor Swift." I'm like, Taylor Swift is not going to show up to the OD in Seattle City.
I think we were just hoping.
Hoping.
You're praying.
We were like, oh, please,
Would
maybe.
you now be honest? If Taylor Swift came in right now, would you spaz out?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't spaz out, but I would try to become her friend.
Like, what? I don't understand the Taylor Swift thing. Like, is she like the quintessential white girl? Like perfect. She speaks from the heart. Her songs touch your spirit.
Yeah.
Like, what? You guys are white. Tell me.
Wait, I'll tell you why I love
They
her.
look like the perfect white girls. Are you guys Swifties?
I'll tell you why I'm a Swiftie. I'll tell you why I love her.
Tell me why you love her.
It started before I even got into her music. It was all of her generosity and how she would speak out, and she would go see kids in the hospital and, donate and all this kind of stuff. And you sort of I sort of, from the outside, got to know that part of her first.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, if you watch her documentary, like she's a real person. She's got issues, and you like almost feel
That's
for her
what
a
I'm
little bit.
That's what I'm saying. There has to be a connect with Taylor Swift that hits a nerve, right? Because this is what was with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was to us.
He was good to kids as well.
Right?
Steve.
But no, but when Michael Jackson was famous, the reason why I feel he was like a global star, there was nothing like him.
I think you're right.
He was kind of like almost not a real person, right? Mm-hmm. And he was phenomenal energy in a small man. He was a very petite guy, but great energy. With Taylor Swift in this era, to me as a male, I feel like what I think makes her famous is that she's a relatable superstar. Mm-hmm. Like there's something that I feel like all the girls go, oh my God, she's like me. I could be Taylor Swift kind of thing. Because like if she sold a doll, she probably does. If she sold a doll, girls would want to have a Taylor Swift doll. That's right?
Yeah.
Am I right? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was doing a show, I think I was in Ohio, right? She sold out 4 nights arenas in a row. That's 1 million goddamn people in 4 nights, right?
Yeah.
She's making probably like 10 million a night, some crazy number, right? Yeah. But she had the mom, the daughter, and the girlfriends.
Yes.
So it's a vibe. It's like all women. The kids love her. The mommies love her. The aunties love her. That's you'll never see like dudes like us, man. Let's go see Taylor.
Right.
I want to hate her, but I can't. She's given me 0 reasons to dislike her.
I don't dislike her, but I'm not like going crazy. But I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, it doesn't happen.
Does she dance? Is she sexy?
It doesn't happen without the songs, first of all. That is step
What's
one.
the
Same
number
thing-
one
same
song
thing
she
with
got to do?
I don't know. Same
Shake
thing
it
with
off.
Michael, though. I'm saying without the songs, it does not
She's
happen.
legitimately a talented songwriter.
I love that's what I think is the dopest thing. She writes her own music and she makes hits. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's the money. She's on some Diane Warren
But
stuff.
then I think also her wearing her relationships on her sleeve speaks to the girls, to the female audience, big time.
She been through
She
it.
doesn't put up with it.
She been through it. The dudes done ran through that.
Let me ask you.
You date Taylor Swift, you do her dirty, she writing the song. Bro.
Would you ever, so Travis Kelce's the current boyfriend.
You better not mess up.
That's what I'm saying. Would you, in your heyday, would you go near getting into a relationship knowing that you might end up as an album?
Oh my God.
As I
I would
did.
be so nervous to date a girl like Taylor Swift because she's gonna write about me.
Yeah.
So you know what you do though? You gotta put it down. You gotta turn her out, like freak her, like be a freak or something. So she'll write some sexual my big daddy. You know. Big daddy! Love you, big daddy! You can't break her heart because she'll write some you doodle man. You go from
You
Big
have
Daddy
you have to
Doodle Man.
make her leave you
Doodle
because
man. That's a hit. That is a hit song. Hi, Doodle Man.
Go out with style. If you're gonna date her,
You gotta make time with somebody famous like that go well, because you gotta look at like somebody like Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
You know how hard that is to be together. You know, both of you guys are stars. Actually, she's a bigger star than you. You got to deal with that. She got her own security. We don't need yours, Ben. Mine's bigger. And to feel like a man with that. Every time I see Ben Affleck, Ben Affleck always looked like he got a hemorrhoid to me.
Can I ask you something?
Slam the door. Everything is a scowl. Like, yo, right?
You're right. And I want to ask you because you're on the other side of this, right? Like, you superstar, globally known. You, I'm sure, over the years have had a lot of people in your camp that just agree with everything you say yes. I feel like these high-profile ones don't last because you're finally with an equal, somebody who's not going to take your crap, somebody who's not going to tell you.
And they know the stuff about you that you can't hide, too.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So does it
ever work?
It's hard for women. Like, to me, I've been in the business now, almost 30 years, I guess. And so when I look at women who are superstars, notice how many times they have broken up with somebody. because it's so hard to be a woman and be successful and be respected. Because women work so hard to break through. The Madonnas, the Beyoncés, the Taylor Swift. Just think how hard they have to work, right? So to be a guy to go and get in that success train with them, first of all, you know they're alphas.
Yeah.
And they not gonna talk you, take any crap from you. And you gotta be a man though. Like, you got to be on some thug, like, I am a grown-ass man. Jennifer, I need scrambled eggs. Stop playing. You know what I mean? And she'd be like, babe, I like when you strong. Because usually those women run through dudes. Like, whatever,
I think you're
leave.
right. I think
you got to be a man. Like, look, I'm not having it. Tell your security to leave so we can have a real personal moment. Babe, I like when you strong.
I've said that countless times. I think that inherently that's a dynamic. They want to have, obviously, their well-deserved achievements, but they also want a guy who's not going to acquiesce to everything.
You cannot. You got to be a man. I don't care what nobody say. And this is just me. A woman wants a man. Like, she wants a man. Like, they want us to be the solution guys, right?
Yeah.
It's like, babe, fix that. Babe, come take me out, babe. They want us to be. So when a woman's powerful, you just have to be ultra man. It's almost like you got to turn your man all the way up. You got to smack on her booty in the morning. Get up, baby. Pow. Like, ooh, you so crazy. Oh, my God. You stimulated me,
Bill, I wanted to... I wanted to ask
how many dudes be smacking their girl in the butt. Baby, get up, pow.
Give it a shot. See how it works.
Yeah, right. See how that goes for you.
Sometimes it works
See if
better
that
than
works,
others.
right?
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about your son because you posted on Instagram he committed to Westmont. He's going to play some college ball.
Yeah.
What's his career shaping up to be like?
Well,
you got to be a proud papa.
I'm very proud of my son. Like, he worked really, really hard. I mean, he's been playing, sports since he was 6 or 7. So as a dad, you just never know, like, okay, is your son going to be decent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he going to be the kid that peaks early? Is he going to be the kid? My kid is like the development kid, just every year, click.
Okay.
Click, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's almost a better way to be, though, because you don't.
But it's frustrating as a father, though, because I'll see your son already got it.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, how is your son so good so early?
Yeah.
And then I'm waiting for my son to be at that,
My son's obsessed with the NBA, so we've been watching a lot of the draft yesterday, the day before, and what really strikes me is that the NBA, for the most part, they're drafting kids. They're 18, 19, maybe 20 years old. If you're 23, you're too old to get drafted. And, like, I'm 49, so I'm looking at, all these kids getting drafted. I'm like, they're so freaking young.
They're very young. And here's the thing that's interesting about age. So my son is 17. He's a real 17. So during COVID, there's something called the transfer portal, right?
Yeah.
In college, kids are older. So technically, my son is going to be playing basketball with guys 19 and 20 because you can do an extra year.
Right.
Cats are coming from different schools. You can, there's no more loyalty to a school anymore, right? So they're jumping to school. If they're not playing, they go to this school. So in college, it's older. Now, when you unless you're a phenomenal player, like the guys that you see in a draft, the one and done guys, they are phenomenal. You know what I mean? If LeBron's son went 55,
yeah,
that's telling you how good the other dudes are, right?
Yeah.
You 54 people better than you. That's crazy.
Yeah, no,
it'd be
true.
different if you went 18, 17 people.
It's funny you mention that.
54 people.
Yeah.
The first 2 dudes they didn't even talk about. Those guys are phenomenal. The 2 guys from France.
Yeah.
They're ridiculous. Like, they're 7 feet tall. They can do everything. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but the margin for error at that level is so small.
my gosh.
So even the first guy that went, I don't know what his name is, but like people were saying that was a bad pick, and I'm like,
how you gonna be a bad pick when you 6,000 feet tall? You can shoot, you can dribble, you can do. Back in the day, a big guy was just like Shaq, like power you. These dudes like Wembanyama, this dude can do everything.
he handles like Iverson.
Everything.
Yeah.
And then every time you shoot, he block it. Like, it just feels bad.
Do you see the dude who just came out of IMG Academy in Florida, the 7'9" guy? He's
7'9"?
7 foot.
White guy.
And he's not skinny like Wemby.
Listen to me. My son played ball with him in D.C.
What?
He was on my son's team.
Jeez.
He dunked like this.
Just reach.
Bro, he didn't even get off the ground. He dunked like he don't want to do it. Oh, he doesn't have a ferocious bone in his body. He's the nicest kid.
How tall is Shaq?
Shaq was
7'1".
And this kid's
7'9".
7'9".
That's a monster.
And he drives a small car too. That's what's crazy.
Like a Mini Cooper?
He gets in a Mini Cooper.
Is he like Hightower in Police Academy? To take out the front seat?
He drive a pickup truck. He sit in the bed.
I saw when I first saw the picture, Bill, of him with his teammates. I thought it was Photoshopped.
No, he's really that big.
Oh.
He was in the airport when we were leaving D.C. And I was just like, what seat is he sitting in?
Yes.
26, 27, and 28.
But he was actually proportional, and that was the part that like threw me off.
Yeah, he is proportioned.
Because when I saw like the headline, I'm like, okay, this is just going to be like a 7'9" of bones and eyeballs. And I was like, oh, you actually look like a normal human being, which makes him actually not seem as tall until he's next to somebody else.
Where does he get his clothes? That was my first thing. Where does he get his clothes?
Right, yeah.
And what if he doesn't play basketball? You can't be 7'9" and be a UPS guy.
No.
You jump out the truck with them brown shorts on.
You would never have to jump out the truck. You could just drop
You just throw your package.
Bill, speaking of sports, you guys on MTV used to do those rock and jock things.
You look like you wanted to play.
Yeah.
Which sport was your favorite? Was it football, softball, or basketball?
It was actually, as a kid, hockey, but,
No, we didn't do that.
I know we didn't do that. But
always got to
I
post some
enjoyed-
real white guy stuff.
I enjoyed the
Ice hockey belly? Canadian?
We'll have some brews afterwards.
No, the baseball. I think you guys did softball, actually.
Yeah, softball, yeah.
Which is kind of fun watching, like, Roger Clemens throw underhand, softball pitches and stuff.
Bro, that was, for me, one of the best parts of MTV because you get a chance to meet your sports stars
Yes.
that that you thought you would never meet. You know, like back then I met Roger Clemens, Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter. These guys were like on fire. Like they're brand new. They're big superstars.
Yeah.
They're getting $400 million contracts. Like, let me tell you something. I never forget the night I hung out with Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter.
Jeez.
Let me tell you something. This is when I realized I ain't had no money. This was when popping bottles was the beginning of where you could buy a bunch of bottles and you get VIP. This is like 94.
Yeah.
And they were good looking.
Yeah.
Superstar baseball players. Girls were like, when we walked in the club, they thought I was the assistant. I was famous too.
Yeah.
But I wasn't that famous.
Right.
That's crazy famous.
Yeah.
A-Rod was with J-Lo too.
Yeah. Well, Derek Jeter, every girl Derek Jeter talked to was fine.
Yeah.
Every girl, Derek Jeter was how to be a player for real.
Well, we had heard stories that Derek Jeter had a little parting gift he would give to girls at his house. He had a little gift bag.
Hey,
he would
give
send
you a
them on
little
their
gift
way.
bag. Hey, babe, gotta go, get up. Smack him on the booty. Pop, pop. Hey, got a game tomorrow. Gotta go, boo-boo.
Here's your gift. Thanks for
Thank
playing.
you, Derek.
A reporter was interviewing Jeter one time, and there's a spring training. They're in Florida, and there's 4 hotties over on the other side. And so the reporter he sees the girls looking at Derek, and he sees Derek looking back at the girls, and it's sort of like an off the record conversation. Jeter goes, the reporter goes to Jeter, "Do you know those girls?" And so Jeter just turns to the guy, the reporter, and he goes, "Did her, not yet."
Wow.
And that was Jeter in a nutshell.
But you gotta understand, he's like Derek Jeter in the 90s. He's Mr. New York.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good looking dude.
Yep.
Smooth, quiet, soft spoken, not like, he's almost like James Bondish.
Yeah.
He'd be like, I like the girl in the pink right there.
I'll order one up for you right now.
She'll be like, Derek, are you looking my way? Yes, my dear. 2 seconds later, he'd get a gift bag. 2 seconds, and they happy about the gift bag.
Bill, have you written a book?
Yes.
Okay. When
I'm
did
an
that-
author.
What's that?
I am an author.
You're an author. And is it your memoirs?
It's my memoir. It's called Top Billing Stories of Laughter, Life Lessons, and Triumph. And it's basically a movie of my life.
Okay.
Like if I've been on the radio for a couple minutes with you guys, and I'm telling you stories that are real. Like it's like going back through the 90s with my life, from Kurt Cobain, Janet Jackson, Michael, Prince. You got to understand, I was talking to everybody every day. It was crazy.
You were right there.
Right in the middle of
all of it, yes.
When you do that, when you put together a book like that, to me, that would seem like the most difficult thing in the world. Now, obviously, you come loaded with stories.
It was, yeah.
How long did it take you to put everything?
It took me a year and a half to really figure out what my voice was and what direction my book would go. So it started with my pictures.
Right.
Because I always had a camera with me. So I go back in my boxes of pictures and go, back in the day, remember you had the Kodak and you open them up and the pictures would come out?
Yeah.
And you had remember we had the what did they call the negatives?
Yeah.
That's how back I went. So I'm looking at pictures. I see Tupac. I see Whitney. I see Kurt Cobain, Courtney Love. I see Sugar Ray. I'm like, dang, this is like a movie, like Almost Famous.
Yeah.
So what I was doing Zooms with this wonderful lady who, they help you cultivate your story, curate it. You just talk for hours and then just take notes, and then they record it, and then they're like, okay, this is going to be a chapter. You're like, what? She's like, this is a great chapter. We'll talk about this vibe will be making it big. It's going to be called Making It Big. And they're like, oh, wow. And each chapter, it ended up being about 15 chapters.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you include that story about that yellow Pinto back in 73?
73? It cost me $75.
Hey, did you coin the phrase booty call?
Yes.
Nobody had ever said booty call.
Nobody ever said booty
That's
call.
legendary.
Except me. It's legendary. And except me and Derek Jeter.
Was this Jeff Comedy
Derek
Jam?
Jeter's booty call came with a gift bag. I should have thought of that.
I mean, that still stands. That's the
How
thing.
can a woman be mad at you? She get a gift bag. Oh my God, thank you. She's telling her girls, oh my God, he's new panties, new bra.
But listen, little
New
phrases,
shaver.
phrases come and go.
Yes.
Booty call has stuck.
Yeah,
Still,
nobody's getting past booty call, bro.
Yeah.
You can call it Tinder. You can call it something else. You can call, but it's still a booty call. It's
Absolutely.
And you got to think about why that makes it work. Why does it work? Because it's saying something without being offensive to anybody. And that's how you had to do jokes in the 90s. You couldn't be like offensive or go too over the top. So I had to figure out a clever way to say what I'm talking about without them saying, we can't say that.
Did you ever go about getting it legally?
No, I didn't. So there's a lot of booty that's wrong.
but booty call goes both ways. You can get a booty call from a girl.
Yeah.
To a guy.
But we don't know. See, dudes, we know what we was calling it back in the day. We was calling it a hookup.
Hookup. Yeah.
We was like, I had a hookup. But girls, what I like about booty call was like you could say it to a girl and she's not mad at it.
Yeah.
You know? She's like, oh my God, was I a booty call?
Yeah.
Yes. The gift bag is at the door.
Take one when you leave.
If you see that gift bag at the door, it's a booty call.
I had read, Bill, that you majored in economics and at Rutgers.
Yes.
And you were kind of looking at maybe turning into an investor, or
I don't know
Wall
how I
Street,
became so funny,
Well, what I was going to
just happened
ask,
to be gifted at this. But
do you still have a flair for that? Do you still are you smart with your money? Do you invest and take what you learned from college? And
so I always thought I was going to be in finance initially because I changed my major about 4 times in college, but finance was always something that I thought was fascinating because it's almost like a football game. It's just so much energy and this money moving fast, and people are, bidding on possibilities and opportunities and track records and stuff. So I always thought, that Wall Street would be my move. But then when I became, sort of like intrigued by comedy, I was like, I don't know. So what I started doing was investing my money back then. And so what I was doing was sort of feeding both things. Is just learning about the stock market, learning about the financial, entities that cause our economy to do what it is, thus economics, GNP, Federal Reserve, start learning all this goofy stuff that nobody want to talk about, how inflation affects spending. I was like, man, I should learn this stuff better. So I would, business managers, investment guys, I'd be on the phone with them. Yeah. And it's so interesting, but it's another language.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is.
Like the Rivian thing that happened the other day. That most people don't know unless you invest. Like that was a move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Volkswagen, like I'll give you a person. Volkswagen gave $5 billion to help Rivian not go out, not die.
Yeah.
That's huge, right?
Yeah.
So that influx of money gave not only their stock like this, and you could have made a lot of money. You wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
You'd be
you'd be on your yacht right now.
Yeah.
You know?
He'd be putting together his gift bag.
Yeah. I never forget it when I was on the radio with Bill. So, but the thing that people don't understand is the chip, the technology is what the buy is. It's not the cars, it's the technology, because that's what the game is. So if you're not investing in AI or thinking about where we're going to be in 10 years, you're a fool.
Well, look at I'm having a brain fart, but the company, the big AI chip company,
Intel?
No, the NVIDIA.
There you
right,
go.
NVIDIA. So they are now, I believe, the most valued company on earth because of the AI chips and the mass consumption of them. So you have all these other companies now.
Everybody's going to have AI.
Apple's like fumbling trying to catch up. Apple.
I'm gonna I got a joke about this. Women, y'all got 4 more summers. It's over. AI is gonna replace a woman. I'm gonna tell you right now, all that stuff, you're not gonna do it. I don't feel like it. AI say, yes, William. They're gonna have AI custom to you in a minute, right? Where
It's right now.
I promise you.
Now.
Women, y'all better tighten up. Sorry, ladies. Y'all better get it together. AI about to replace y'all.
Did you hear the latest?
I'm tired. AI is never tired.
Preston, this is a truth.
They're going to grow skin, right?
They're going to grow skin.
On robots.
Cyborgs.
I don't want a cyborg. That's creepy. But I do want a woman that says yes all the time. What guy wouldn't want that? Of course, babe. If your woman only said of course, you'd be like, what? I cannot leave you. You are amazing.
I would have to
Just not having to put together a gift bag would be enough.
Exactly. And guess what? What's your name, sweetheart? Right here?
Kathy.
Kathy, never have an attitude. I could tell Kathy could have an attitude, right? You can see it just right under the surface. She can make you feel it. She wouldn't even speak to you. You know Kathy's mad. But AI would be like, what would you like today, William?
What about, though, when they become self-aware? That's the problem.
Oh, I don't want AI to start saying stuff like, William, you know, every Tuesday you have a cinnamon raisin bagel. That would a little be creepy, because now they start learning you.
Yeah.
And like, you're bummed. You didn't take a bath. You know. I want AI custom to just be nice.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Subservient.
Yeah. If you could, Kathy, if you can have it, am I messing this up? This is for this. Am I? It's my Kathy. If you could have an AI guy.
Oh.
See how happy she got? Yeah. What? Give me? She already. She almost passed out. So Kathy, let's look in the future. You have an AI. What would be the 4 things that he would have to be programmed to do for Kathy? Like with not saying no. Yes. Go. 1.
Cook.
Be a great cook.
Yeah.
All right,
great
1.
cook. I
Clean.
Well, I was going to say clean.
You want him to clean the house?
Well, I don't know if I don't
No, you
know
want him to be
Her
clean.
standards.
he could pay for the cleaner.
Okay.
No, he
good.
can clean it, and if it's AI, you
If it's
can
AI, he's
program
going to
him.
do everything you
Yeah, I
want.
guess I'll program.
He's got a dustbin in his nutsack.
He sweep everything up with his nuts.
Great cocktails and
So he'll be a bartender, a
he'll be-
mixologist.
mixologist.
Let him be a
he's got-
mixologist.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
can it
that's
be like mixologist / barista?
Yeah. Oh, so he makes your coffee.
And then
Boom.
at
That's
noon makes the margaratas.
Okay.
Noon.
And what else? One more. You
And
get
then
one more.
he can spit out money all the time.
He's an ATM. He's an ATM.
Sounds like
an ATM.
sounds like Bill Bellamy.
Do you notice though?
Spit out money all day.
I should have said.
You should
right
say,
here.
"Give me a Bill Bellamy."
I'll take one Bill Bellamy.
Sex
I'll make a
sex
coffee.
isn't mentioned.
I'll make a coffee every now and then.
Sex is not even in that
Well,
list.
because there's another AI for
I
that.
thought she was gonna say sex.
No,
it's the radio. She's scared. Soccer
No.
moms will start crashing their minivans.
The guy list is completely different.
Hey, guy, you get yours. You get 4. You get your perfect. First of all, give me your AI girl's name. Give me a sexy name. Give me something cool.
I'm gonna have to Roomba because it's so easy.
Roomba.
Yeah.
Broomba. That is the worst name ever. My AI girl would be Sasha.
Sasha. So what would Sasha have? What would be the attributes?
Sasha would be cool. So Sasha, she would always have a sexy voice. Like I would program her so whatever she said would sound good no matter what.
What actress has the sexiest voice? Like a Scarlett
actress-
Johansson?
Scarlett has a really nice voice.
Right.
Yeah, let's just say Scarlett's voice, because that's the first one that came to my mind. So she would have a sexy tone to her voice.
Right.
She would be intuitive about things that I need. Like she'd be like a super assistant.
You don't have to ask for it.
Yeah, I don't have to ask. She would know. She would do all my travel.
Okay.
So I don't have and get my points.
A personal assistant.
Points, a personal assistant that was sexy.
Okay.
And she has to be sexy.
Okay.
And she have to always wear heels.
Always wear heels.
Yeah, I want her to walk around sexy.
wow.
And great calf muscles.
Yeah. Well, if you're always wearing heels.
Yeah,
you
you're gonna have
muscles.
great. And then
Yeah.
and I want her to do squats.
All right.
Right. Okay. In the heels?
On
or-
command?
You want like
I don't
a
know,
nice
just
firm
10 squats
base.
randomly whenever I need it.
Okay.
Because I want the booty to be poking.
Yeah.
Like, black men, we love a biscuit.
Yeah.
Biscuit.
Yeah.
Sasha, do squats for the boys.
Can you do squats for her? And she'll do them slow. 1 and 2. Yeah. I'm just making up. So what about you? What about you, dog? Your turn.
That's a good list that you have.
That's not bad. It's not vulgar. What would your girl be?
Talking to me?
Yeah, give me a name.
I can't see you're wearing shades. I can't tell you're making eye contact with me. But there you go. Man. All right, name. Let's go with that. Oh, man.
You don't like Roomba?
No, I don't like Roomba. I would go with,
Don't say Margaret.
No, I was going to say like Anastasia.
Oh,
That's good. Yeah.
girl would be Anastasia. All right, she's European. Go ahead.
Yeah, she would. I love the sexy voice thing. That would be great.
That's good.
So like Fran Drescher.
No, not like Fran Drescher.
No, he said sexy.
She would have to be able to read a green properly for me. I need a caddy.
That's
good.
great stuff.
Sexy
In a
caddy.
sexy voice.
In the sexy
Use
voice,
your
yeah.
6 iron.
Yeah.
Use the 7.
It's about a ball out to the left. And
You slice that baby.
I would say to be surprising me sexually on a regular basis.
Gangster.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. You went there.
That's gangster. He had to. He a man.
Yeah, to bring in some new and interesting ideas.
I didn't even know you had a cricket bat.
You imagine him? He's just laying there all of a sudden. Poof, poof, poof. Anastasia, who are these people? Baby, that's too far.
What does a robot? Does a robot bring in another robot, or does it bring in
No. Because she would probably learn that his tendencies and stuff, and bring all his fantasies in there. So it'd be like a little person, a big juicy ass woman.
So like, I feel like Anastasia. I am not going in there.
And then a masseuse, something crazy,
I want everybody to think about this today. Think
Yes.
about
I
that.
know,
Come up
it's-
with your own.
Who's your
that's a
your
good
own
one, right?
idea.
It makes you
Yeah.
think like,
I like it.
what would you do that would make you happy, and then put that in your AI, and then you would have that all the time. Would you
Right.
get bored over time? You think?
You might as well enjoy it, because eventually, when they become self-aware, they're going to kill you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right.
All right.
Well, you're programmed so you don't get bored. Like that's one of the requests. Never bore me.
Never. See.
Yeah, you got
And they
So
learn
you already
over
think
time.
that. You look like you're gonna go home and build your own. They got dolls now that look real.
Yeah,
Real
they
dolls.
do.
I
Real
saw that
dolls,
on
yeah.
TikTok. I thought it was a person. It was a doll.
Yeah. So
Listen, we could talk all day about this,
know.
Bill.
banging dolls.
And to you about sex dolls, whatever it is, man. But we do
I wasn't gonna say that. I thought mine was regular. Yours was sexual.
We do have to wrap it up. Bill's got shows at City Winery. Like I said at the top, they're selling out real fast. And I think after this interview, they're all going to be gone.
Thank you, man.
I think there's some seats left for the 9:30 show tonight, and that's pretty much it. So citywinery.com. You are one of our favorite guests.
Thank you,
for
bro.
being here.
I had a great time with you guys. Think about it, Kathy.
Let's hear it for Bill Bellamy. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us, my friend.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Farting hard.
There needs to be a song called Farting in the Glen.
Farting in the Glen.
We're excited, ladies and gentlemen, to have in our studio actor David Harbour.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm so excited I said good afternoon when it's 9:20 in the morning.
There are a bunch of footlongs outside the studio, which is like the 9 in the morning footlong, though.
Yeah. Do you know Pink's in Hollywood?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
That's them.
Are those from there?
They just expanded
Oh,
to
well,
the
then
east.
bring me one. I mean, come on. It's still a hot dog.
Yeah, it's not a classic breakfast fare, but it works. It's very good.
We never actually get breakfast food here. It's always like
It's
that.
always a dinner thing, but it all
Wings
works.
and all that stuff.
We've been up since 3:45.
Yeah, exactly. So it is kind of dinner for you guys.
David, where are you from? Where did you grow up?
I'm from White Plains, New York.
Know it well.
Yeah, do you know it?
I'm from New York, yeah.
Okay,
I know
Westchester County, like 45 minutes out from the city, suburban, very boring place to grow
But nice.
up.
If you work in the city, it's a nice area to be in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I couldn't stand it when I was growing up because it's like that suburban thing, and you're like 14 years old and all you want to do is act out. And so I would take that Metro North train down to New York, though.
Oh, yeah.
When I was like 15. And, back then you could do a lot worse things than you can nowadays. We could go to bars and I mean, they didn't have any of the rules they have nowadays.
So it wasn't the creative arts that were driving you to the city? It was the party?
I would tell my parents that I was going to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. So yes, the arts were driving.
Yeah.
If my parents are listening.
Well, we're thrilled to have you in here.
Yeah.
We're massive Stranger Things fans, and we're also just massive fans of your body of work, which is just so much great stuff. And I think you've described yourself, or have been described, and I think you're the epitome of that guy for so long, who just is always, this guy's in it, this is going to be good. Yeah. And we have a sense that you've curated the things that you're in, and whether that's the truth or not, you just always end up in good stuff. And Stranger Things is just such a... no one could have figured this bizarre pop culture bank shot that took place.
Yes.
And that they went with, except for perhaps Winona Ryder, moderately known. And it just took off. So when you got the script for the first time, I understand it blew you away, but did you think you were going to get it? You couldn't have had an idea it would be what it has become.
No.
Yeah.
The complete opposite, to be honest. I mean, the first thing is you get the script, and I thought it was a really good script. And so my first thought was there's no way they're going to choose me to be like the male adult lead in this. They'll get somebody who's a star. And so I kind of blew off the audition a little bit. I mean, I do what I do, but there was a relaxation in the audition where it was like, those situations where you think like this will never happen. So I might as well just do what I want to do.
And that must help. That must help in a way.
Because it makes you more relaxed. You have no expectations. You don't have a goal. You're just like doing what you do. And then I wound up getting it, and it was incredible. And then as we were shooting it, I remember around episode 4 or 5 having a bit of a breakdown and thinking, none of this works.
Really? Really?
Yeah. I mean, because I remember, Hopper's a really messy guy in many ways, like everything from his body to, his personality.
Well, the very first, my impression of your character was like, this guy's a douchebag because she comes and says, my kid is missing. And he's like, he's out running around or whatever. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to be that guy.
Yeah.
He's more complex than that, and really cares. But you're right. He kind of had that really messy attitude about him, but he's the character morph. So initially you thought that wasn't going to translate?
Yeah, and so like around episode, I think it was 5 though, we were doing a scene and I'm neurotic and occasionally I'll ask people like, what'd you think? And I went up to my hair person, this woman Sarah, who's lovely person, but I was like, what do you think? And she just turned to me and just shook her head and she was like, yeah, I don't think it's going to work.
Wow.
And I was like, what? You mean the whole thing?
Thanks for the confidence.
But I understood where she's you're in a bubble down there and you just have these days where you're like, what we're doing is stupid. Nobody's going to like it. And then before the show came out, there was no advertisements.
No.
And I couldn't get an interview like this on a popular radio show. Like, nobody wanted to talk to me about this show.
That was the beauty of it. I found out about it through word of mouth.
Exactly.
So it started to catch. And it was that. Now, this actually speaks to, you were a child of the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people remember all of this it's at once a tribute to the work of Stephen King, and it's this pop culture maelstrom of things that are all pulled together and
Spielberg,
to Spielberg, and shot in a way that all the things that we love, but done in a great way. So there'd be no way to know it. But the fact that it did happen that way organically, I think, made it more firmly entrenched, and that's why we're rabid for season 3.
You and the Netflix season 1 marketing department apparently had the same thought, because that's what that's what they claimed was I don't know if that's just a way of getting out of spending any money on the show, but
it was our plan.
They claimed that was kind of their strategy, was to have people discover it. And I have to say, it is very gratifying. It was very gratifying to have it be something that wasn't hyped at all. And just to have people stumble across it on Netflix, and then the social media aspect of it. They just told their friends, and it was all over like Facebook and Twitter. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
And I think in this world where everything is so hyped, it's nice to have ownership and discover something that almost feels like a little pearl you found in an oyster, like a surprise,
So let me ask you then, here's the conundrum now. Now it is a thing that's
I know, now we're talking about it. Oh, God.
But whereas season 2 is always, everyone's like, going, okay, what season 2 kicked ass.
Yeah, I know.
And it was.
Guess what happens in season 3?
Traps the bed.
We jump the shark. No, it's my character gets on water skis.
Nice.
And literally
one of the
jumps
top,
in.
and there's a great white shark in the lake.
All right.
Who knew?
Yeah.
In Hawkins Lake.
Are you wearing a leather jacket?
I am.
Okay.
Surprisingly. No, honestly, I just finished, because they just sent me, because they like to send the finished episodes to everyone else before me.
Right.
But that's just no. But they just sent me all the episodes. I just finished them last night, actually, and it is so damn good.
Wow. The trailer
It is
alone.
so damn good, and you like. Oh, the end is.
How does it end? What happens?
Okay, so here's what happens.
You make it up the chart.
Yeah. By the way, I would like to correct you on one little thing. Prior to this, the first season coming out, we totally would have had you on our show.
You're a liar.
No.
You are in some of our favorite things.
When the first trailer for Black Mass came out, and the dinner scene with you and Johnny Depp, and I'll just sort of leave it at that, because I know you wanted to hit on this, Steve.
Oh, no.
Like,
We're gonna go over all your stuff, because we're big fans. But yes, no, Casey's right. We were fans before Stranger Things. It just cements the adoration. But to that point, you go through these things. This has been your quantum leap.
Yes.
I mean, but you were that kind of guy. You were on Broadway and you working that whole deal. When you went in to I know you had an issue with working with kids initially, right? Because kids can be a liability, right?
Initially.
I mean, because I find. You've got to get the right. I'm so quick to hate a kid in a thing. if he's, you know what I'm saying? If he's
I do know what you mean. I know exactly.
You got to get a Haley Joel Osment. You got to get somebody who really gets it. These
and we
kids
got
are
like
great.
6 of them.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
And so they never. The old thing is never work with animals or kids.
Yeah. But you and I are the same age, right? So when I look at this
Are
cast,
you 75?
born in 75.
No, 1975. No.
So you were born on my brother's birthday in 1975.
Oh,
I
wow.
saw that. I turned 44 on the 4th of July. So
Wait.
Yeah.
I was born on your brother.
my brother was born in 73.
Oh, 73. I was like,
Don't try to
wow,
work it out.
2 months apart? Brother, how did that happen? Something with test tubes and cloning or something.
It's right out of Stranger Things.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the upside down.
You and I and Nick, actually, as a matter of fact, we're all contemporaries. So we grew up with the same movies. So there are movies that came out in the 80s that still work today that have kids in them because they were so good. The Goonies is one.
Yes.
Stand By Me is another one. Sandlot is another one that came a little bit later on.
Okay.
And so I liken E.T. Yeah. As a matter of fact, E.T.
Yeah. Drew Barrymore, like a little tiny Drew Barrymore, amazing.
Right. So, and we had the creator of The Sandlot in here a couple of years ago, and he actually, I think they had a whole other cast of kids, and he was like, you know what, I need to get older kids to play younger because they weren't doing it right. And
yeah, interesting.
And so,
I mean, our kids.
Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by Mini Melts of America. Breaking ice cream news. Get Mini Melts ice cream delivered right to your door on the Wawa app, and you're just a few clicks away from enjoying your favorite Mini Melts flavor. Download the Wawa app today. This is great. In Indiana, a retiree and a board member of a neighborhood HOA is accused of defecating not once but twice on the side of a neighbor's house and was denying the act until confronted with video evidence.
I mean, come on.
This is a board member of the Homeowners Association. Yeah.
They get a little carried away, don't they?
They do. Court documents.
You don't remove that flag, I'm going to poop on your wall.
Court documents reveal how a homeowner in New Palestine went out to mow his lawn only to find a pile of human feces beside his air conditioning unit.
Made this for you.
Now, this wasn't the first time the homeowner found human poop piled beside his home, and it wasn't the first time that he caught the culprit on camera either. The homeowner caught an unknown woman on video surveillance entering his lawn May 2nd. That same day, he found that she had left a gift piled alongside his house.
It's what you call an HPP incident.
After the second pooping was perpetrated on May 29th, the homeowner contacted police, handed over surveillance footage that captured the serial pooper in the act. A woman is clearly seen dropping her pants in broad daylight.
Come on.
And squatting beside an air conditioning unit to empty her bowels. Deputies ended up pegging the serial pooper as a retiree who not only lived in the area but was a sitting board member on the neighborhood HOA. Documents revealed how when confronted, the 74-year-old woman denied defecating against the man's house. Once confronted with the video evidence, she allegedly changed her tune and fessed up.
Probably a lot of prunes and corn in that stuff.
But the woman told deputies that she had no vendetta against the homeowner and simply had to use the restroom.
Yeah.
The homeowner said that he does have an ongoing issue with the neighborhood HOA, though court documents show that he admitted to deputies that he did not know any members of the HOA personally and wasn't aware that she was a member at the time of the incident. The woman has since reportedly stepped down from the neighborhood HOA
I think
position.
it's best at this point in time.
She's charged with criminal trespass, criminal mischief, and public nudity, all misdemeanor crimes.
Maybe she should consider moving as well.
Chilean actor Alex Araya may have succumbed to the stealth drug Burundanga. Burundanga, I guess how you pronounce
Wait
this.
a second, let me get a pen.
After he was found dead in his Colombian Airbnb.
Wow.
The actor was discovered dead after a cleaning lady found his corpse the night before. Araya reportedly went on a Tinder date with two women. He went to the Airbnb around 11:30 p.m. with the two women, and 2 hours later, only the two ladies walked out. The women allegedly stole his credit cards and cell phone, which they used to pay for Uber rides and jewelry.
So they overdosed him, though.
Well, this is the 29th foreigner to die in Medellin alone this year, and his family believes that he may be another victim of Burundanga. Burundanga, or it's also called scopolamine, or I'm not sure how you pronounce these words, is a drug that, according to the U.S. State Department travel warning, can render a victim unconscious up to 24 hours or more, and in larger doses can cause respiratory failure and death.
Jeez.
The State Department released the warning in 2023 to travelers, saying that they had an increase in reports of incidents involving the use of sedatives or drugs to rob individuals.
So was their intent to kill them, or were they accidentally causing them to OD?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
I do not know. There have been 50,000 unconfirmed reports of Burundanga-related druggings in Colombia last year.
It is fun to say, though, isn't it?
Burundanga. Vermont, the state, has agreed to pay $175,000 to settle a lawsuit on behalf of a man who was charged with a crime for giving a state trooper the middle finger in 2018. The lawsuit was filed by the ACLU of Vermont on behalf of Gregory Bombard. It says that Bombard's First Amendment rights were violated after an unnecessary traffic stop and retaliatory arrest in 2018. Trooper Jay Riggin had stopped the vehicle because they believed Bombard had shown him the middle finger. Bombard denied that, but did say he did curse and display the middle finger once the initial stop was concluded. Bombard was stopped again and arrested on a charge of disorderly conduct, and his car was towed. He was jailed for over an hour and cited to criminal court. That charge was eventually dismissed. The state has agreed to pay Bombard $100,000 and $75,000 to the ACLU.
Because it's a First Amendment thing, right?
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
Freedom of speech.
Yep, Bombard said in a statement
Freedom of finger.
that he hopes the Vermont State Police will train its troopers to avoid silencing criticism or making baseless car stops. A TikTok video has exposed a married man's mid-flight infidelity, which now has people debating whether putting him on blast is okay. Content creator Caroline Rened had captured footage of the guy, later identified as Lynn Stacy from Texas, engaging in intimate behavior with a woman named Katie during a United Airlines flight from Houston to New York. The viral video detailed how the pair met at an airport bar and continued their liaison in the air, despite Stacy wearing his wedding ring. While some critics recommended Rened for condemned her for invading the couple's privacy, many social media users praised her for exposing the alleged cheater. That's not cool. You don't know what's going on.
You don't know what's going on. Yeah,
you have no idea. So yeah, I'd say.
But were they doing it on the plane?
They were doing it on the plane.
Having sex?
No. So they were sitting side by side.
Yeah.
He was close up on her. She's sitting one aisle over across the aisle with her camera tilted and her in the picture.
Yeah, I think it's lame.
Yeah,
personally, but because you don't know, these people are strangers. Who knows what's going on in their lives? But we could debate that another time. That's all I have in the bizarre file. What do you want from me here, people?
Come on!
Oh, I know what you want. You want our Dorney digital word of the day for your chance to possibly join us for the Preston and Steve Day Off at Dorney, which is coming up on July 11th, and the word is toast. All right, so make sure that you enter the word toast. And here's the deal. We're not telling you to go to PrestonandSteve.com. We've been having some wonky stuff happen over there. So go to our Preston and Steve Show social channels, Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever, and find us, and you will see a link to this contest to enter the word toast. Do it that way.
It'll work.
Trust us on that, all right? And you might win those tickets and join us for the event coming up on July 11th. We're going to take a break. We'll come back in a second. Test your knowledge of today's program with our lesson question. We'll get to trash and music news, too. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve.
All over the map. I think when we started, I think Millie was the youngest, and I think she was 11 years old. And then I think Caleb was the oldest, and I think he was maybe 14. So they do span a little bit. But in general, they are kind of aging with the show. Like Millie in particular is, she started out, she was 11 years old, and now she's, 14 or something.
She's
and
a young
kids are
woman now.
up.
It's a little weird to see, but it's natural.
Well, it's weird for you. It's just weird for Hopper, too. Yeah, it's like a nightmare.
I love that and to Preston's point about the character, this character, and I think I like complex, I like villains where you can sort of see why they are what they are, and they're not just, mustache twisting. And I like heroes that sometimes get pissed off and have luggage, and that's how Hopper came into the to the deal. The whole paternal aspect of him was not revealed, and it becomes revealed in an organic way. How much of your input helped create that genesis for Hopper?
I mean, they had an amazing character already created when I came in, but they also are very collaborative. So, I have ideas and I understand men that are broken and disappointed in life, and other people are disappointed in. So I had some insight into that.
Right.
And so, as we were developing him in the first season, and one of the fun things was as we developed him in the first season, and as we thought, we were all sort of neurotic, and we thought, well, this isn't going to have much of a life after this season. But we would sit around on set and just have fantasies about, what would be amazing? If we could run this thing, what could be cool? And I think that some of those discussions, especially in season one, one of the fun things was we really loved the character of Hopper, and we also really loved this character of 11. And we were there's clearly he had a daughter who died, and so he has a lot of trauma around that. And she had a papa who was manipulative and who used her.
Right.
And so wouldn't it be great for these two characters to try to heal their trauma together and do it in a very chaotic way where they don't know what they're doing. Yeah,
season
so that
two was
led
that
into
process.
Season 2.
Yeah.
And then there's stuff that we're even responding to going into season 3. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
David, I loved you on Newsroom, and I love you in this, in Stranger Things, and they're very different roles.
Very different.
And the writing on, which is Aaron Sorkin's show, and on the Newsroom, it's so fast-paced, and so a lot of your characters build on the fast-paced nature of the entire show and how quickly the dialogue is delivered, whereas on Stranger Things, it's the spaces between the notes, right? It's a lot more drawn out, and you can be a much more subtle actor. Do you have a preference? Does it matter to you? Or do you just like to work when the work is good?
No, I mean, I do feel like with the Newsroom stuff, like I feel like the gestalt, like the larger piece is very good, but as a component in it, you don't have a lot of freedom to do, you don't have a lot of ownership in a weird way. And so with Stranger Things, there's a lot more ownership. I mean, you get to explore a lot more behavior. A lot of times, like Sorkin's stuff and a Newsroom is very much about the point you're making, on the page. Whereas with Stranger Things, you may say something and mean something entirely different, or you may say something and then behave entirely different.
And there are these pauses and these drawn out things, especially with your character. Because
I love that. I love the way a character is like, you take a lot of time. Like, what's up with you? Why?
It's compelling. You get drawn in as a result.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's my whole thing with acting has always been that, a lot of it, human behavior is always very complex, and sometimes, a lot of times, I think people say something that, and then they behave entirely differently. And that's sort of how I've seen the world since I was a kid, is I've always been confused by human beings, because they would say things like, I love you. And you'd be like, I don't think you do. I think you want me to stay, or I don't know what you want, but you don't just love me. So that's always the complicated thing that I want to explore with human beings. And I think that the great thing about the Duffers are they really love actors. They really love what we bring to it, and they really want, so they'll have something in their mind that's very specific, and then we'll come in and mess it up, and they'll be like, this is even better than and that sort of collaboration is what you're always looking for.
You mentioned taking a lot of time. Netflix took a long time to get this next season back. And I was curious what you, how you feel about that as an actor.
Listen, here's the problem, all right? It's not a problem. It's a problem with you guys. I swear, it is a problem with the world. Okay, because we have. All right, I'm going to throw down here because we have trained you. We give you 8, or actually last year 9 hours of content.
Yeah.
And you binge it all in a day.
No, I learned.
And it's like, give us time. Take your time. Once every 2 months is when you should be watching an episode.
No, it's crack.
Look,
it's
I know. For me too.
I
mean, sorry.
No. And as soon as it's over, you're like, when's the next one coming out? Like, after the first day it comes out, you watch the whole season, and then you want to know when there's more.
And you'll see, you'll see as you watch this season. I mean, the problem is, I agree. I wish we could bring them out to you every couple months, But the problem is, and especially when you watch this season, if you really just watch each episode and you see the camera work, the story work, the production design, every single one of them is an hour-long movie.
That's been true of the whole series.
8 of them.
Yeah.
But eight movies in a year and a half is pretty good, compared to
Well, let me ask you, going to your film work, which you love, and Casey brought up Black Mass, and you've worked on the other side of the table from Johnny Depp, as menacing a Whitey Bulger as you could possibly imagine. And I was reading an interview with you where you say the performance it really works like when you legitimately, if you're supposed to hate somebody, if you actually sort of legitimately hate the person in that scene, that you can tell when someone's going, I'm going to pretend I hate you. So when Johnny Depp is looking across at you and he's delivering the secret recipe sequence, Are you kind of getting unnerved by that?
Yeah. I mean, there's very personal work going on. I'm terrified of Johnny Depp. I mean, who isn't? I mean, it's a funny thing. You meet people and you work with them almost immediately. That was Johnny and me. We just met that day and we just had that scene. But
that was your first scene? Within that day?
Yeah, and that was actually my first scene in the movie.
Wow.
You sit down with a person, and so what I try to do is like just get very personal with them early on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you try to really see what you get from this human being, and then what you can use. It's almost like you're there with another chef, and you guys just have like ingredients spilled out, and you're like, okay, what am I going to use from you? Like, you know, you have this set of ingredients, I have this set of ingredients. What can we? And I mean, I do feel like the thing about acting is that when it's, and look, I do it sometimes, and sometimes I get scared of doing it, but when you bleed, other people feel it more, I think. Like,
Right.
You know, Ernest Hemingway has this great quote where he's like, writing is easy. You just sit at the typewriter and bleed. And like, it's true. Like when you actually are in the room, if you actually are hurt by someone,
one out there somewhere.
You don't just start with two.
Remains to be seen. But all right, it's 13 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock. We are going to give something away here in just a moment. Nick is looking for...
I'm so intrigued by that question. Why wasn't there a song one?
Yeah, I don't know.
It was initially made and written as a parody song to parody grunge songs.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And sort of like everything that Nirvana was putting out in the early 90s, and this was Blur's response to that.
I don't think of that when I hear that.
No, neither do I.
All right, we're going to do today's lesson question. We're going to give away a prize pack from A Quiet Place, Day 1, which does include a 4-pack Fandango codes and a unique little promotional pack. And the question that I think we're going to go with is, what is the secret ingredient in a summer Arnold Palmer? It's from a Bizarre File story earlier this morning. What did that woman put in there? 215-263-WMMR. What's the secret ingredient for a summer Arnold Palmer? Not for real. It's a story. It was something that was said earlier in the Bizarre File in the 8 o'clock hour. Let's see if you heard it, know it. Call. We'll do the trash while you're doing that.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Brought to you by the Franklin Institute. The Art of the Brick, world's largest display of Lego art, is now open at the Franklin Institute. After the exhibit, explore the 9,000 square foot brick play space, and you can get your tickets today for the Art of the Brick at fi.edu. What's happening, Steve?
Well, Paris Hilton testified before Congress Wednesday on behalf of children in the welfare system. Hilton was also petitioning to get E pluribus unum on the $1 bill changed to That's Hot.
Oh my God.
Prince William took children George and Charlotte to Taylor Swift's show in London last Friday. William proclaimed Swift the real royalty that night, but then chuckled, adding, "Not really, so watch it, bitch."
Hey!
And finally, co-host of The View, Joy Behar, revealing during Wednesday's show that she would absolutely consider a lesbian relationship when she's in her 90s. Behar says the best part of that arrangement is that she's only going to have to wait until next week.
All right, let's go to the phone, see if you know what the answer is. What's the secret ingredient in a summer Arnold Palmer? And it is Joe who's going to answer. Yo, Joe, morning, bud.
Big brown Guatemalan nipples.
Getting sucked on by all sorts of pimples.
I think the answer is Roundup.
It is true. Hang on, Joe. Got yourself a prize pack from A Quiet Place, Day 1, including a 4-pack Fandango codes to watch it in theaters and some unique promotional items for the film. A Quiet Place, Day 1 hits theaters this Friday, June 28th.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Yeah. By the way, today is Friday, June 28th. All right. The Franklin Institute also brings us our music news. Art of the Brick, world's largest display of Lego art, is now open at the Franklin Institute. After the exhibit, explore the 9,000 square foot brick play space and get your tickets today for the Art of the Brick at fi.edu. Eddie Vedder has released a cover of the English Beats 1982 song Save It for Later, and he did it for the latest season of The Bear.
That's who was singing it, because I love that version. It begins the episode.
Yeah, that's been a live staple for them for a while.
Yeah.
But Eddie announced the cover on Instagram, and it marks his first studio release of the song.
Yeah, you got to hear it because it doesn't. Because I think I could recognize Eddie Vedder's voice, but I was having trouble identifying the singer of that song.
The show, known for its eclectic soundtrack, has featured Pearl Jam tracks in the past and continues to use music to enhance the show's drama. Vedder's version of Save It for Later offers a quieter take compared to the original's ska-influenced sound. And Nick was telling me normally in concert they'll go from Better Man into Save It for Later, and on this release of this song, they do it. Eddie does it backwards. It goes to Save It for Later and a Better Man.
It's
right?
really cool. Yeah. So live versions of Better Man for years, they would tag it with Save It for Later, and then you hear this recorded version of it. And Steve, I agree, it's an awesome version. It's available now, so you can download it or whatever.
Yeah.
But it ends because Better Man and Save It for Later have similar chord progressions. It ends with Better Man sort of in the background. You can hear them singing along.
I love
that
him
chorus.
doing TV stuff.
It's really neat. Yeah. And
I
last
love
season,
him doing the different strokes theme too.
well, last year they did Animal was in an episode of The Bear. So
right.
they've used some Pearl Jam songs in the past.
And speaking of Pearl Jam, they had a concert scheduled for tomorrow night in Tottenham, England, in London. Actually, it was at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They had to cancel it, and it says due to an illness in the band. Is it Eddie?
It's Eddie, yeah.
Okay.
So he was sick the other night. I think they had a show in Manchester or another part in England. Anyway, his voice apparently sounded fairly terrible, and so the audience sang along with a lot of the band's songs, which was cool, but I think it's progressed to a point where he can't sing it at all anymore,
that
which
sucks.
Which is why they canceled the show for tomorrow night.
Some bad diarrhea. What they call hot snakes.
Hot snakes? Wow.
You guys want to hear the official audio from Save It for
Sure,
Later?
here we go.
If you're a fan of the TV series The Bear, then you know what I'm talking about. But if you're not, get on board. You're going to love it. But last night, watched the first 2 episodes. The first episode does a recap and sort of flashback episode with very little dialogue, with so much imagery, and it's done in such a brilliant way. And I'm like, holy Christ! There's almost like a complete sort of suite of music that accompanies everything underneath, and it was just done in a very inventive way. I was blown away.
I'll have to see that. Those episodes are out now on Hulu. KG Elephant has released a new music video for Out Loud, directed by Loris Russier from the latest album, Neon Pill. The album showcases the band's evolution while maintaining their signature creativity. Produced by John Hill, Neon Pill was recorded in various studios and reflects the band's resilience through personal hardships.
The hell does that mean?
Meanwhile, they're currently on a 48-date North American tour. And then one final story. Warner Records is releasing special vinyl editions of the classic Linkin Park albums Hybrid Theory, Meteora, and Minutes to Midnight. These high-quality one-step pressings are limited to 3,000 copies each.
What can we expect to pay for that amazing record package?
They come, well, you can get the last one for 1 penny, Steve. Each come with original artwork and new slipcases. Color vinyl versions of these albums, plus The Hunting Party, will also be available. These releases not only showcase Linkin Park's evolution from their genre-defining debut to their experimental third album, but also highlight the band's significant impact on alternative rock and their continued popularity among fans.
Member of the Columbia Record Club?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it was like 10 albums for a penny or something like that, and then you started paying regular or something. I forgot how it worked.
I thought it'd be cool to buy one album for like $2,000,
right,
and then pay
a penny for the rest of them. No, I liked it for a little while, and then it kind of got old. I got tired of it because sometimes you didn't know what you were getting.
And it's kind of funny because sometimes they would send you the wrong record.
Yeah.
And I became a Steely Dan fan because of an accident.
That's a good mistake.
Yeah, and so sometimes it works in your favor.
Yeah. All right, that's it in music news. We have one last break to take before we come back and give away our Word of the Week prize. Check in with Jackie Bam Bam, so make sure you stay with us for that.
as differently, viscerally, than if you're just sort of like pretending.
Right.
And I think in that scene you had soy sauce and garlic. Right?
Oh man, you found out. I spilled the secret.
Can I ask you a question? Because
real quick, I just want to reset.
Yeah.
It's David Harbour, if you're just tuning in. Stranger Things season 3 coming up on Netflix July 4th.
With that particular movie, you listen. You've been an actor for a long time. That's what you majored in college. You get into it because you love it. I assume that you didn't get into what you're doing now to receive awards and all that sort of stuff. However, with that movie, I felt like Johnny Depp should have at least been nominated for Best Actor in every single award show, and he wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff's
so-
all political, you know.
Okay.
You can see there are signs, and it's always been the case. For example, I always point to the fact that Paul Newman should have won for The Verdict, and they gave it to him for The Color of Money.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah,
and it's like, well, we screwed up, so here you go. So that's.
I think it's Pacino too, right? Like he was nominated, The Godfather, Godfather 2, like all these movies, and then they give it to him for A Scent of a Woman, which is like, okay. But like, it's
Those
no
weren't
Dog
good.
Day Afternoon. Like, come on, like.
No, you're right.
You're in
Attica.
It was just on the other night. It
so
holds up.
good.
It's
I
still
love
great.
that movie.
David, I wanted to go back to the kids on the set on Stranger Things. You're watching these kids grow up. They're great actors, yet they are they're going up into this world of a career. I'm wondering if you're just letting them do that, or do you occasionally have a little bit of advice you try to, by osmosis, kind of give to them?
Are you a parent?
I am. Yeah, I have 3. Yeah.
One of his sons is right behind us.
Yeah.
Oh,
actually,
really?
yeah. Yep. Mhm.
Hey, do you listen to your dad? Oh yeah. Yeah, whatever. Because you're in the room. Yeah, I know. It's like, of course, like whatever. I mean, I actually don't have kids, so I have 6, or 7 if you include Joe Keery. But like little kids who I like adore and love, and of course I'm protective over them, and I want them. And I mean, it is a hard road, and especially nowadays with all the interaction with fans and stuff like that, and the fact that, there's a fickle light of fame and of people that like you. I mean, I look at professional sports players, and like, you have a bad season, and you got people in the stands going like, "You're a bum," and we have the same
Exponentially now
thing
because of social media.
Exactly.
You're just eviscerated.
That's the thing, and I feel for these kids to be thrust in the limelight so quickly, and to be, they are beloved. And look, I hope that they never have a day of not being beloved. But I will say I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's possible for any human being. I mean, we go up and down. The world loves you. They hate you. I mean, it's just the nature of fortune, right? It's like a fickle wheel. It just spins. It just spins.
But you feel the hate more than you do the love for some reason.
Absolutely. It's so true, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
You have to learn, though. My dad years ago he would say, always consider the source. Always consider the source. And when you do that, it helps mitigate and tamp down that stuff. But it's hard, though.
Yeah.
Because you get into this because as you said, you go to the hairdresser. How am I doing? And you don't want to hear you're not. It doesn't look like it's going well.
And you think that I think because we're on TV or whatever it is, like. I think it too. I mean, I've written things about people on Twitter, like celebrities and stuff. And you think that like those people are immune because they are so like, blah, and then you're just like, no, like I'm just a human being like anybody else. So if you come up and say like, you're the worst, like, it hurts. I mean,
you're like, I am.
Yeah,
I am the worst.
But it is true. Like the amount you can just rack up love, and it just scroll through that.
Or
but the minute somebody goes like, I don't know, you're like
your hairdresser.
What? Yeah, exactly.
Well, like I tweeted out, OJ's on Twitter now, and I tweeted out, I did bring up the double murder thing, but I said he looked good. So I tried to.
Okay.
I still, even with OJ, I tried to do that.
Going back to Stranger Things, I love the concept of the town of Hawkins. It's very Stephen King-esque, like Castle Rock, where there's just this area that's concentrated. Weird things are happening all the time. You've also got this cast that's growing up. This could go on for quite a while. And only you and the guy, the people that are writing this show know whether it's a definitive end at the end of season 3. We don't know, but this train could keep riding for a while, couldn't
it?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Like a shaky witness, I'm gonna reach for the glass.
We know
take a sip of coffee.
We know you got to run. Real quick question about Black Widow. You were indeed filming that?
No. Yes. I mean, I don't know if I'm filming right now. Right. But yes.
Okay.
We are shooting that movie.
I just wanted to make sure because reports and IMDb and
No.
sometimes you can't believe that stuff,
There's a lot of misinformation on that as well. But I will say that Kate Shortland is directing this movie Black Widow, which I am in, and it is incredible.
Awesome.
We love the subject matter,
Scarlett.
We're thrilled you're in it. We're huge fans of what you do, and it's just
thanks.
very intriguing. So
I think it's really going to be a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, and these Marvel guys are like, they're just the best in the business. Like Kevin Feige and these guys are just so good at what they do. So you really feel it on set too. It's like this real, these guys are just really good at telling stories.
They take something that could be lighter than air and really you just evaporate, and they make it something that has gravitas to it, which is amazing.
Exactly.
Stranger Things season 3 is on Netflix July 4th. Dude, I'm really happy that you're like a super nice guy.
Oh, thanks.
That's always nice to find out.
Nice to talk to you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate
and
it.
Enjoy the season. It's really, and I don't say this. I mean, I'm stand behind the hype. It's like, it's going to take your breath away.
Love it.
Excellent. All right, let's hear it for David Harbour, guys.
Thank you.
Blink recently shared a new song called Happy Days.
Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, the track follows Blame It On My Youth and Generational Divide as the third offering from the trio's new LP, which is tentatively titled Bajmir. Somebody they texted this. It says their album is Rim Job Backwards. I thought that was the name of Rim Job Backwards was the name of the album. No, Bajmir is Rim Job spelled backwards.
Oh, what? There we go. Thank you. We would not have known that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Bajmir. Or you can name an album Rim Job Backwards.
Would it sound that way if you took...
I doubt it.
Reversed it. I don't think it would.
Here, let's all say
try
it.
it?
We could.
Yes.
So just say clearly, say rim job.
Can you record it and play backwards or no?
Yes, I can.
Okay, say when.
Go ahead. When?
Rim job.
All right.
Okay, so Casey will record that.
All right.
And we'll see what that sounds like. All right. Okay, say when.
Go ahead. When?
Rim job.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Bajmir.
Yeah.
Bajmir.
Yeah.
Bajmir. There's a little in there, but Bajmir. Now let me say that forward.
And see if it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Bajmir.
Okay.
Okay, let's try that. See if it comes back as
Try that. Go here and.
Rim job.
We're scientists.
Rim job.
Do it again. Do it again. You can even do it better.
Rim job. Rim job.
We are ready to transmit.
Bajmir. Rim job.
The aliens are about to transmit a message. Rim job.
Play it again, Casey. Rim job.
Wow.
You really got that in there.
I love our
And now the envoy from Neptune is about to speak.
Frame job. On MMR, 10:30 a.m. A Friday morning. A beautiful day. Today's high temperature about 83 degrees.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, sunny skies. Tomorrow some clouds coming in. High 87. Sunday, a return to the scorcher. High 95. And then we'll bounce right back on Monday and Tuesday and be in the mid to low 80s. So
it's supposed to be pretty humid on Saturday and Sunday.
Is it?
Yeah, that's the word, is that the humidity is going to really pin.
All right. Well, then enjoy today.
Go outside. Quit.
Yeah.
I would. Today was a fun show.
It was fun.
Yeah.
But despite my inability to speak, I was having fun.
And despite my just
11 p.m.
being out of it completely, I woke up at 11 o'clock thinking I was going to work.
It cracked me up.
Took a shower and everything.
Because it made me feel like, because I had one of those similar moments. And I'm like, I have to be the dumbest person on earth. But I have this cold sore on my tongue that keeps colliding. And it's like, you mother son of a bitch.
I hate
You want me to cut it off? I got some
I would actually let you cauterize it.
scissors. So we had fun all the way around. I want to thank, first of all, Matt Hardy.
Yes.
TNA Wrestling. Really
Nice guy.
nice guy. They have events going on all weekend at the famed 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. Of course, you can go to tnawrestling.com or you can also go to 2300arena.com. Get tickets and info. And then Bill Bellamy came in.
He's great.
He is a ball of energy. He's hilarious. We had a blast with him this morning.
He recorded most or all of his interview with us and on his Instagram account, which is just Bill Bellamy, and he just posted it. So if you missed any of it, it's all there on Bill Bellamy's Instagram page.
Nice. And thank you to Marissa for the very unique all Ernest food clips this morning for the Connoisseur, which
Ernest,
that
man.
was wonderful.
He was great in Schindler's List.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was very emotional. Jackie Bam Bam's out.
I am here.
Nice to see you, sir. How you doing today?
I am doing, like you said, it is gorgeous out there. And I was thinking on the ride in here, I smell a road trip with Casey Boy. What do you think, boy? Should we do that again? Today would be perfect. Good weekend to go.
Well, not this weekend. We got to plan it out, and we'll stay, at our Marriotts across the country.
Do you go further? Would you make it a road trip? Would you do a road trip to Hawaii, Jackie?
Hawaii, I would take that. I met Case on the beach on our last day. We have a gorgeous picture, as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
But
and literally sit next to that picture in my little fan cave, I call it. And there's a picture of me and Jackie with the sun setting off the coast of the Pacific Ocean. It was awesome. And Steve, I'm telling you, I would row a boat across the Pacific Ocean with Jackie Bam Bam.
All right, with Jackie. How about that?
Love him so much. And spending those hours and hours and hours and days in a car with him surprisingly made me love you even more.
And you like my driving too?
No, that's actually the only part I hate.
I would probably be okay with it. What's a
You
fan
can come with us, Romano.
What's a fan cave?
So I didn't want to call it a man cave because that just sounds
It's
dumb.
where you watch your sporting activities
Yeah.
and have your sandwiches.
So it's just my little room. It was, when the house was built, it was designed as an office, so it's really small and it's really cute and condensed. And I just have a couch and a love seat in
But
there.
I don't get it. What's a fan cave?
PHAN,
As
like
opposed to
Philadelphia
man
fan
Sports
cave.
fan. Are you thinking like a fan?
I was thinking like it was like I don't like his fans, like,
Like his
pictures
butt
of his
room.
fans.
Oh,
hanging up in there.
Yeah.
I got
all
you.
two of them.
Let me show you where
My mom and my
everyone
wife.
adores me. I've taken pictures.
Well, because he said he had a picture of Jackie, so I was like, who else is in
I know.
there?
Where do I fit in with the Eagles, the Phillies, and the Flyers there?
Who did you purchase the house from? Was a news anchor, right?
Well, she didn't own it right before me, but Luann Kahn was two owners before me. Yeah.
And Preston, you bought Kelly Ripa's
old Kelly Ripa's cousin's beach house.
right,
Yeah.
and my house once belonged to Jervis's dry cleaner.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I live with Bradley Cooper.
Was that?
I live with Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper.
Wow.
All right, Jackie, we need a letter of the day, dude.
Let's move in.
All right.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
And the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by the letter.
The letter T, as in trouble.
All right, and we will take the ninth caller at 215-263-WMMR. If you happen to know what the word of the week is, then we have the prize that you can win. So ninth caller, 215-263-WMMR. What are you doing today for the end of the week, man?
You said prize. I will open up my prize coffin 2 times. Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes and Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, the Rascals, are on Seaside Heights on the beach tomorrow. I have one last pair of those tickets. Peter Frampton tickets at our Met Philadelphia. Of course, it's a Friday, so we'll get going right out of the box with our sweat. Did I say it 93 times set? Workforce blocks. Skinner down the shore at Ocean Casino Resort will bring in Collective Soul. They're going to be here at our FM Center in August, but they are in Hershey Park tonight with Hootie and the Blowfish and Edwin McCain. We'll give you a concert warm-up, and it's an anniversary of a criminally underrated AC/DC album, so we're going to rock.
Let me ask you a question. How many times does program director Chuck D'Amico come down to ask what you're playing? Because yesterday I thought it was cool, but you went from Johnny Cash.
Steve, wait, hit the mute button or the dump button here. Chuck in here.
I'm like, what am I listening to here? So does Chuck have anything to say?
Wait, he went from Johnny Cash to what?
It was he went to a current.
It was on Pierre's Daily Planner.
Yeah.
There's International Day, National Day. It was National Orange Blossom Day. So I said, we got to play Johnny Cash's version of Orange Blossom Special. So that's what we did.
Okay. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one listens to my show.
All right, we'll see if we can get a winner here. We're looking for caller number 9. It's Mike. Hey, Mike, how you doing, man?
Okay.
All right, Mike. Gadzooks to you, Mike. Okay. Mike, what's the word of the week, buddy?
Heat.
Great day in the
It's heat. You got it, Mike. Mike, we're going to give you a pair of Sunday Party Plaza tickets for NASCAR's Great American Gateway 400 at Pocono Raceway. That includes the pre-party padded passes and food and beverage as well. My man, congratulations to you.
Fantastic.
Excellent, buddy. Hang on. We'll get all your information. We'll set you up with the prize. Don't forget NASCAR weekend returns to Pocono Raceway July 12th through the 14th. Tickets at PoconoRaceway.com, by the way. I am going to thank our sponsors. Preston and Steve Show has been brought to you today by Dunkin', and the Preston and Steve Show runs on Dunkin'. Also brought to you by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors, and by Trinity Rehab at locations all over. That's trinity-rehab.com. In honor of a special day next week, we're going to have a short week. It's Casey's birthday. So,
Yes, that's right. Yes.
so we're off
welcome,
next week. It's
world.
going to be a short work week, only Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So just
We're
heads
throwing
up.
a big party on the art museum steps, and it's going to be fireworks and everything.
That's
Yeah,
great.
the whole deal.
Is
Absolutely.
Kesha playing? I'm only going to Kesha's playing.
And we'll get Kesha, trust me. All right, that is it. We are done. Rage on. Have yourself a great weekend, friend, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.